Chapter 736. However, he did not find any powerful aura within a 1,000-mile radius. Could it be an expert? Tu Tian was puzzled, but he quickly denied it. If it was really a super expert, there was no need for an ambush. He could just enter the city and kill him. He did not care about other people's ambushes. Brat, no matter what tricks you play, you can't escape death today. Tu Tian shouted angrily and chased after him again. This time he was even faster. It seemed like he wanted to get rid of Lin Xian quickly. However, Lin Xian had an earth tier movement technique. His speed was extremely fast among the supremacies. Therefore, Tu Tian could not catch up, and could only follow behind him. This brat actually has such a movement technique. Looks like I can't kill him later. I'll torture him for his movement technique first. Tu Tian's eyes were filled with greed. In the next moment, he was surprised because Lin Xian stopped in front of him. Brat, what tricks are you trying to play now? Tu Tian's mind was filled with Lin Xian's movement technique. He did not care at all. Moreover, he had checked these places in advance. There were no traces of experts at all. This is the tomb I chose for you. What do you think? Lin Xian said with a smile. What a tomb! Tu Tian laughed hysterically. Brat, I don't know where you get your confidence from, but I'll let you know the cruel truth soon enough. Kill! He shouted angrily. His body turned into an afterimage and instantly appeared in front of Lin Xian. He waved his palms and terrifying palm shadows merged into one. The palm energy was extremely terrifying. Even a second heaven supremacy would find it difficult to take it. Lin Xian was the first to bear the brunt. He instantly felt the terrifying aura, and the aura in his body surged. How terrifying! He's definitely one of the strongest among second heaven supremacies. Lin Xian executed the illusory demon steps to the extreme and dodged quickly. At the same time, he sent a voice transmission to the dark red divine dragon to activate the formation. In the next moment, the surroundings changed. Countless golden sword chi appeared and swept across the land, emitting a terrifying murderous aura. Tu Tian frowned. The golden sword chi made him feel a sense of danger. Formation. He sucked in a breath of cold air. He didn't expect Lin Xian to know about array formations. We have to end this quickly. Tu Tian was not willing to take the risk. Furthermore, this array formation was indeed terrifying. Therefore, he immediately unleashed his full strength. There was a pair of purple gold gloves on his palms. Light flowed around them, and they emitted a terrifying aura. A top-grade spirit-ranked artifact. With this artifact, Tu Tian's palm wind and fist aura became even more ferocious, causing the void to explode. However, the 10 directions remnant light sword set up by the dark red divine dragon was also unusual. The golden sword chi was extremely sharp and could cut through mountains. Moreover, Lin Xian also quickly used the great dragon sword soul. His whole body was like a divine sword that had been unsheathed. He was extremely powerful. A great battle was about to break out. Terrifying energy spread out in all directions, shattering all the surrounding mountains. Puff! Lin Xian held the blood-red slaughter sword and slashed out, creating a blood-red river that stretched for 1,000 meters. As it descended, a terrifying gash appeared in the ground. A 10-meter-wide gash appeared, and one could not see the end of it. Tu Tian quickly dodged, and then struck out with his palm. Terrifying energy condensed into a 100-feet-tall palm shadow that covered the sky. Everywhere it passed, everything was flattened. Die brat! Tu Tian was furious. He had lost face for not being able to deal with a brat after such a long time. He was like a ferocious beast, crashing through the void. Blood-slaughtering demonic palm. The purple-colored palm blasted out. Divine light bloomed, and purple gas spread out for 3,000 miles, as if it came from the demonic realm. Solitary sword. Lin Xian held the solitary sword, and used the autumn sword of the Four Seasons sword technique. The pitch-black sword chi was extremely oppressive. It carried an indescribable sense of oppression, as if it could take away all life. The two collided and were in a stalemate. At this moment, the 10 directions remnant light formation erupted. Countless golden sword chi surged out. The terrifying energy was extremely powerful, and quickly slashed towards Tu Tian. Tu Tian snorted and quickly retreated. He only had one top-grade spirit-ranked artifact on him, and that was the gloves on his hands. Therefore, his attack was much stronger than martial artists of the same level, but he did not have much of an advantage in defense. Facing the terrifying golden sword Qi, he could only retreat. You can't defend? Seeing Tu Tian retreat, Lin Xian seemed to have realized something as a sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth. Then he used the Red Lotus armor. A set of bright red armor covered his entire body, making him look like a god of war. He let out a long roar and rushed forward with the demonic sword in hand. Scram! Seeing Lin Xian approach, Tu Tian was furious. In such a critical moment, he would not let the enemy get close to him. The void trembled as the spiritual energy around him condensed into a blood-red river that surrounded him. At the same time, he condensed a spiritual energy armor to cover his entire body. However, this was not a problem for Lin Xian. His great dragon sword soul was an offensive saint technique. At this moment, it was fully activated by Lin Xian and was extremely violent. The sword Qi was dazzling and turned into the shape of a dragon. It was vivid and majestic. The dragon claw grabbed and immediately tore the blood-red river apart. Then, Lin Xian appeared in front of Tu Tian in a flash. The demonic sword stabbed out and attacked quickly. The terrifying power made Tu Tian's face turn ugly. You're courting death. After all, he was a second-level honorable and was powerful. Moreover, he had a spiritual-level supreme-grade artifact, so his attack was powerful. The palm strike landed on Lin Xian's chest, causing cracks to appear on his Red Lotus armor. Lin Xian was hit hard. His body trembled as if it was about to split open. He almost fainted. However, his long sword also slashed at Tu Tian's body. In an instant, the armor was torn apart, and a terrifying sword mark was left on Tu Tian's body. Moreover, under the control of the dark red divine dragon, the 10 remnant light sword also erupted with powerful power. In the sky, countless golden sword Qi surged and merged into a huge golden long sword that slashed at Tu Tian. Boom! Tu Tian was hit and flew out. Winter sword, god-slaying sword. Lin Xian gritted his teeth and attacked again. A dragon-shaped long sword appeared in front of him. This was the sword manifestation of the great dragon sword soul. With a flash of sword light, the entire space was sliced into 2 halves, creating a dislocation. Tu Tian's body stiffened, and an incredulous expression appeared on his face. How can you? He uttered a few words with difficulty. Then, a bloody mark appeared in between his eyebrows and his body collapsed. The powerful mixed yuan hand Tu Tian was killed in a single strike. Until his death, he could not believe that a brat could kill him. Moreover, he still had a lot of trump cards, but they were all useless at this moment. Lin Xian used the longevity art to heal his injuries. Then, he stepped forward and cut off Tu Tian's head. This battle seemed to be short, but it was extremely thrilling. If he was not careful, he would have lost his life. However, fortunately, he had the help of the 10 remnant light sword. Otherwise, he would not have been able to kill Tu Tian in such a short time. Chapter 737. Although Tu Tian was dead, he still had a lot of good stuff on him. For example, the storage ring, especially the pair of gloves, which were top-grade spiritual artifacts. It was because of this artifact that Tu Tian became so powerful and arrogant. After keeping the storage ring and the top-grade spiritual artifacts, Lin Xian left with Tu Tian's body. Lion Moon City Wang family. At this time, the Wang family was in a chaotic battle. All kinds of lights shot into the sky, blood splattered, angry shouts and screams were heard. Although Tu Tian was not here, the Blood Yuan gang was still very fierce because they had the confidence. The Wang family was fighting desperately. They had a glimmer of hope because Tu Tian was lured away. Tu Tian is not here, they have a chance to fight. Attack with full force. We must rush out before Tu Tian returns. The Wang family patriarch shouted. Hehe, you have no chance. The elders of the Blood Yuan gang sneered, and did not forget to attack at the same time. Suddenly, a few more Wang family disciples fell to the ground. Go go. The Wang family patriarch's eyes were red. Haha, kill, leave no one alive. The Blood Yuan gang sneered. However, at this time, a black shadow suddenly fell from the sky like a small mountain and cracked the ground. Bang! A dull sound was heard, and the whole ground trembled slightly. Everyone was stunned again and stopped attacking. This is? Many people looked at the deep pit on the ground and were shocked speechless. 2. Tian. Everyone in the Wang family trembled. They were too shocked that someone could kill Tian, and so quickly. This was simply impossible. However, it appeared in front of them now. Gang leader. How is this possible? The Blood Yuan gang's members were screaming and screaming. Although the corpse on the ground did not have a head, the figure and clothes were exactly the same as their gang leader. They had followed their gang leader for so many years. They could recognize him even if he turned into ashes. However, they could not accept this, especially the elders of the Blood Yuan gang. They were shocked. They knew Tian's strength. Even if a martial artist of the same level came, they could not take him down. It could be said that Tian was invincible in the entire Lion Moon City. Yet now he was actually killed by someone. Furthermore, his head had been cut off. This was too shocking. The ordinary disciples of the Blood Yuan gang were trembling in fear. Many of them were paralyzed on the ground like wooden chickens. No, it's not the leader. An elder of the Blood Yuan gang raised his head and shouted angrily. Who is it? Come out. Trying to deceive us with a corpse? It's useless. That's right. Our gang leader's battle prowess is unparalleled. How could he have died? This must be fake. Several elders shouted angrily. They couldn't admit it, otherwise, the entire Blood Yuan gang would be defeated. Fake. Don't deceive yourself. Lin Xian's figure appeared. You still don't know if it's Tian's corpse? If you don't believe me, take a look at this. He flipped his palm, and a bloody head appeared, floating in the void. That was Tian's head. His eyes were wide open, filled with terror and disbelief. Gang leader. Countless members of the Blood Yuan gang saw this scene, and suddenly screamed. Those elders also trembled, and fear appeared in their eyes. They knew that the gang leader was really dead, and there was no way to hide this news. But who killed the gang leader? Could it be this kid in front of them? Everyone couldn't believe it. Don't be impulsive. There may be experts secretly following him. It seems that this operation to kill the Wang family is impossible. Let's retreat. Several elders discussed. Kid, how dare you kill our gang leader? The Blood Yuan gang will not let you go. Just you wait. Sooner or later you'll die. Are you threatening me? Lin Xian snorted. Then, he clenched his fist, and the spiritual energy in the sky gathered and condensed into a light sword that was hundreds of meters long. The light sword slashed down, and it was incomparably sharp. Suddenly, the two threatening elders were cut into blood mist. What? Everyone was stunned. This was too powerful. He could kill a venerable with just a raise of his hand. Who is he? He's so powerful. Everyone in the Wang family was excited. But the members of the Blood Yuan gang were terrified, as if they were facing a formidable enemy. Many ordinary disciples even sat on the ground. The remaining elders were even more frightened, and didn't dare to move. The two people who died just now were on the same level as them, but they were killed with just one slash. That scene was too terrifying. They would never forget it. Could it be that this young man really killed the gang leader? Thinking of this situation, they suddenly felt their scalp tingle, and didn't want to stay any longer. This is a misunderstanding. Well, go now. Several elders waved their hands, and took the lead to leave. The ordinary members also quickly left like stray dogs. We won. We survived. We didn't get killed. The surviving members of the Wang family couldn't believe it. The situation where they were going to die was easily solved by a young man. This made them feel like they were dreaming. Great, we can finally live. Everyone was very excited. Benefactor. Wang Shi looked at the sky and cried excitedly. This cry woke everyone in the Wang family. The next moment, everyone looked at the sky, because the young man in the sky was their savior. Lin Xian nodded slightly and floated down. Thank you, Benefactor, for saving the Wang family. The Wang family will never forget your kindness. The Wang family leader was grateful. After that, everyone in the Wang family said in unison, Thank you, Benefactor, for saving our lives. They were indeed grateful because they had originally been sentenced to death, and would have died without a doubt. However, at this moment they had survived. All of this was because of Lin Xian's existence. Lin Xian rubbed Wang Shi's head and said to everyone, "The dead can't be revived. My condolences. How should we address benefactor? Which sector you from? In the future, our Wang family can repay your kindness." An elder of the Wang family asked. "This is Lin Xian, big brother Lin from the Immortal Martial Academy." Wang Shi explained, "There's no need to repay my kindness. But you guys should be more careful in the future." After that, Lin Xian turned and was about to leave. "Benefactor Lin!" The Wang family leader suddenly shouted. Hearing this, Lin Xian stopped. He turned and asked, "Is there anything else?" The Wang family leader was struggling, as if he was making a decision. After that, he sighed and a trace of determination appeared in his eyes. "Our Wang family is willing to submit to Benefactor Lin. Please protect our Wang family." Everyone in the Wang family was stunned. After that, they came to their senses and looked at Lin Xian with hope. "Benefactor Lin, please agree," everyone said in unison. Although Lin Xian helped them resolve the crisis, it didn't mean that the Blood Yuan gang wouldn't make a comeback in the future. At that time, without Lin Xian's help, they wouldn't be able to escape the fate of death. Moreover, this incident made their hearts turn cold. Those powers that they were on good terms with didn't help them at the crucial moment. If that was the case, they might as well find a strong backer to protect their lives. Lin Xian came from the Immortal Martial Academy. His strength, identity, and background were all very strong. Moreover, he saved Wang Shi without knowing him. This showed that he was a kind person, and not an evil person. Chapter 738. Are you really willing to join me? Lin Xian asked in a deep voice. Yes, the Wang family head said respectfully. Our Wang family is an alchemy family. I think we should be able to help you. Alchemy? Lin Xian raised his eyebrows. He was building a force, and would recruit more and more members. Alchemy was an essential cultivation resource. Although he was also an alchemist, it was impossible for him to refine so many alchemy pills by himself. Moreover, he did not have the spare time. Now that there was an alchemy family submitting to him, it could not be better. Since you are willing to join, I have no reason to refuse, Lin Xian said. But there is one thing that I want to make clear in advance. Once you join me, you cannot betray me. This is my bottom line. If you dare to betray me after joining, I guarantee that you will end up worse than the Blood Yuan gang. After saying that, Lin Xian's body emitted a sharp aura, like a peerless killing sword, hanging above everyone's head. The patriarch of the Wang clan and the elders shuddered as their eyes were filled with astonishment. Too strong, so strong that they could not resist. At the same time, they were overjoyed. With such an expert protecting them, their Wang family would be safe in the future. Now I will give you one last choice. Are you willing to join? Don't worry, benefactor. Our Wang family is not ungrateful. Since we are willing to join, we will never betray you. Good. Lin Xian nodded. From today onwards, the Wang family of Lion Moon City belongs to the Dragon Sword Pavilion. In the future, your safety will be protected by the Dragon Sword Pavilion. Dragon Sword Pavilion. Everyone in the Wang family murmured. Thank you, Pavilion Master. The Wang family head said respectfully. The others also respectfully congratulated him. All right. Lin Xian waved his hand and released the dark red divine dragon, asking it to set up a defensive array in the Wang family. He then went to Sky Pool City and brought Yufei over. Originally, he wanted Yufei to develop in Sky Pool City, but now he had a better choice. It was better to develop in Lion Moon City. The next day, Lin Xian came back with Yufei. Boss, is this the clan you've just subdued? Yufei looked down at the Wang family's residence with a face full of surprise. You will stay here in the future and develop together with the Wang family. Soon, Lin Xian brought Yufei to meet the Wang family patriarch and several elders. Lin Xian left behind a few pill recipes for the Wang family to refine. The Wang family head and several elders were shocked when they saw this. Most of the pills recorded in this pill formula were related to cultivation, and their effects were extremely shocking, compared to the pill formulas in their hands. Who knew how many times better? The few of them looked at each other in shock. It seemed that they had underestimated Lin Xian. Not only was he powerful, but he was also able to casually take out such an exquisite pill formula. He was definitely not an ordinary person. It seemed like their Wang family had made the right bet this time. 100 bottles of each of the pills listed here. I will send someone to collect them in half a month. As for the other pills, you can give them to the family disciples or sell them outside, Lin Xian said. Hearing this, the Wang family head and several elders were excited. With such pills in their hands, their Wang family's strength would definitely rise by a level. Pavilion Master, don't worry. I will definitely complete the mission, the Wang family head said. And that's all for now. The Dragon Sword Pavilion is also in the early stages of development. When it matures in the future, I will send someone to assist you. Strive to make you the #1 clan in Lion Moon City as soon as possible. #1 clan. The Wang family head and the rest breathed heavily. They didn't even dare to think about this before. After all, although their Wang family was also a big family, they couldn't even be ranked in the top 3. But now, Lin Xian actually promised them to become the #1 clan. How could they not be excited? They didn't doubt it at all. After all, Lin Xian had given them too much shock. Also, that Yufei that I brought. You guys make good arrangements. Pavilion Master, don't worry. We understand. Then, after making some arrangements, Lin Xian left with the dark red divine dragon. Flying all the way, Lin Xian finally returned to the Immortal Martial Academy. After killing 2 Tian, he would be able to obtain 27,000 spiritual value points, which could be exchanged for the little spirit pill. At that time, he would be able to break through to the half-step honorable realm. Thinking of this, Lin Xian quickened his pace. What? You completed it? In the mission hall, a cry of surprise sounded, immediately attracting the attention of the surrounding people. 2 Tian's head, it's really 2 Tian. You completed a 3-star mission. The deacon in charge of the mission was shocked. He didn't expect that the youth in front of him could really complete such an impossible mission. One had to know that many outstanding disciples had taken on this mission, but they never returned. Previously, he had reminded Lin Xian, but the other party insisted on taking it, so he didn't care. But he didn't expect that the other party would really complete it. A 3-star mission. When the surrounding students heard this, they were also shocked. A 3-star mission was extremely difficult. Normally, only those at the 2nd level of the Venerable Realm and above would dare to accept it. However, a new student actually dared to accept such a mission, and even succeeded. Under the stunned, shocked, and envious gazes of the group, Lin Xian obtained 27,000 spiritual value points. Then he left the mission hall. Next he would go to the True Spirit Hall. Only there could he exchange for the little spirit pill. Lin Xian had been to the True Spirit Hall once, so he was familiar with the place. However, on the way, he happened to meet Morong Qingcheng. Hey, you're back? Morong Qingcheng was surprised. How was the mission? I've completed it, and I've gained a lot. Lin Xian smiled. This decapitation operation was indeed not bad. Not only did he obtain spiritual value points, he also unexpectedly obtained a pair of top-grade spirit rank gloves. Most importantly, he had subdued an alchemy family. It could be said that Lin Xian was very satisfied. From the looks of it, you must have obtained something good. Morong Qingcheng's beautiful eyes turned. You're really surprising. You can even complete a 3-star mission so easily. Hee luck. Lin Xian scratched his head. Are we going to the True Spirit Hall? Let's go together. The two of them walked side by side towards the True Spirit Hall. Although he had said it once, Lin Xian still felt shocked when he saw the True Spirit Hall again. It was magnificent and incomparably mysterious. It was as if an immortal palace had descended into the mortal world. This was a huge hall that was a few hundred feet tall. It was like a giant mountain that one could only look up at. At the entrance of the hall, countless students were entering and exiting. It was extremely busy. Let's go. Lin Xian was excited as he took the lead. Morong Qingcheng quickly followed. The two of them quickly walked towards the True Spirit Hall. There were many disciples coming and going from the True Spirit Hall every day. Under normal circumstances, no one would pay attention to anything else. However, it was different this time. The nearby disciples all stopped and looked in the same direction. Two figures could be seen there, Lin Xian and Morong Qingcheng. Of course, these gazes were all looking at Morong Qingcheng. There was nothing they could do. Morong Qingcheng was too beautiful. She was like a peerless fairy, ethereal and elegant. Everyone's gaze was unconsciously attracted by the wine cup. Chapter 739. Morong Qingcheng's appearance caused quite a stir. Many people's eyes flickered, and their faces were filled with amazement. There's another person beside her? His cultivation is very weak. He hasn't reached the venerable realm yet. Such a person doesn't deserve to stand beside the fairy. On the spot, a few self-righteous guys sneered and quickly walked over. Beautiful lady, are you a new student? Do you want me to show you around? No need. Morong Qingcheng refused. Wu Ming's face stiffened after being rejected by the beauty. This result made him feel a little embarrassed. At this moment, Lin Xian, who was next to him, chuckled softly. This sound ignited a fuse, causing the surrounding people to laugh. Damn it, kid. What are you laughing at? Wu Ming was furious when he saw that a new student who hadn't even reached the venerable realm dared to laugh at him. I'm laughing at you. Lin Xian's lips curled up slightly. Hearing this, the surrounding students laughed even more cheerfully. Morong Qingcheng also chuckled, then rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Wu Ming was stunned for a moment, then understood. He said that you were laughing at my ass, but the other party was laughing at him, which meant that he was a fart. Wu Ming's face turned as black as charcoal when he understood this. Kid, you're courting death. Wu Ming shouted angrily. He stared at Lin Xian with a murderous look in his eyes. This damn kid had embarrassed him in front of his goddess. Let's go. Lin Xian shook his head and ignored this idiot. Instead, he pulled Morong Qingcheng and walked toward the True Spirit Hall. You want to leave? Stay here. Wu Ming sneered. His 5 fingers formed a claw and grabbed at Lin Xian. In the void, a sharp claw that was 10 feet long appeared. It was like a ferocious beast's claw with scales on it. As soon as the claw appeared, it instantly tore the void and quickly enveloped Lin Xian. Get lost. Lin Xian's face darkened. He pointed his finger, and a sword light pierced through the void. Crack. Puff. The terrifying beast's claw shattered, and Wu Ming let out a blood-curdling scream. He clutched his hand and retreated, his face filled with shock. As for Lin Xian, he left without looking back. Everyone was stunned because they saw blood dripping from Wu Ming's palm, forming a line of blood. Damn brat, just you wait. Wu Ming took a deep look at Lin Xian, memorizing his appearance, and then left angrily. Lin Xian didn't care about injuring Wu Ming with a single finger. He and Morong Qingcheng quickly arrived at the True Spirit Palace. Let go. Morong Qingcheng blushed and pouted coquettishly. Lin Xian was stunned for a moment before realizing that he was still holding her hand. It's a special situation. Those flies are too annoying. I'm doing this for your own good. After saying that, he reluctantly let go of Morong Qingcheng's soft hand. She was a genius with a peerless figure. Lin Xian was a normal man, and it was impossible for him not to be tempted. However, he was well aware of the difference in their statuses, so he didn't think too much about it. Morong Qingcheng snorted lightly, but that strange feeling still made her blush slightly. In all her life, other than her father, no one of the opposite sex dared to hold her hand. Damn it, what am I thinking? Morong Qingcheng shook her head. I just want to win this guy over. That must be it. Her eyes flickered, and she didn't dare to look at Lin Xian. Instead, she quickly looked around. That's... Morong Qingcheng exclaimed. She saw a special crystal space above the True Spirit Palace, and there was a fist-sized drop of scarlet blood that was constantly surging. If one sensed it carefully, they would feel a soul-shaking pressure coming from the blood. That's dragon blood. Lin Xian's pupil shrank. He had the great dragon sword spirit, so he could naturally feel the dragon's might contained within the blood. The dark red dragon in the demonic beast pouch was so excited that it almost flew out. Fortunately, Lin Xian caught it and quickly transmitted his voice. Ruffian dragon, are you looking for death? There are countless experts here, and there might even be kings. Aren't you afraid of being captured and drained of your blood? Don't worry, since I've seen dragon blood, I'll get it for you sooner or later. Lin Xian comforted it. Hearing this, the dark red dragon stopped moving. Lin Xian let out a sigh of relief and walked towards the mysterious jade platform. There, an old man was squinting his eyes and enjoying the beautiful afternoon. Elder, I want to exchange for a small spirit pill, Lin Xian said softly. Hearing this, the elder impatiently snorted and waved his sleeve, causing a green jade box to fly out. At the same time, 20,000 spiritual value points were deducted from Lin Xian's spirit tablet. It was obvious that the old man was annoyed by Lin Xian's interruption. However, in the next moment, he seemed to have sensed something and suddenly opened his eyes. His gaze was like a torch as he stared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian's body stiffened. That blazing gaze almost made his blood boil. He held his breath, and at the same time, the dark red dragon in the demonic beast pouch used a concealing array to completely isolate its aura. Was it just my imagination? Did I just feel a trace of dragon's might? The old man shook his head and withdrew his gaze. Elder, I also want to exchange for something, Morong Qingqing said. Hearing this, the old man opened his eyes again, but when he saw Morong Qingqing, he immediately grinned. So it's the little girl from the Morong family. What do you want to exchange for? Seeing that smile, Lin Xian muttered in his heart. So the old gang's trash isn't anything good after all. Exchange for the heavenly cloud Ganoderma. Very quickly, Morong Qingqing obtained a palm-sized pure white Ganoderma. At the same time, 30,000 spiritual value points were deducted from her. When Lin Xian saw the heavenly cloud Ganoderma, he also took a deep breath. As expected of the immortal martial academy, 1,000-year-old spirit herbs could be seen everywhere. What do you want the heavenly cloud Ganoderma for? Lin Xian asked. I can refine it myself, Morong Qingqing said. You know how to refine pills? No, don't you know how to refine pills? Why wouldn't I use such good free labor? Morong Qingqing covered her mouth and laughed. Lin Xian. Alright, you two little dolls, don't flirt here. This old man still needs to sleep. The elder sighed. Hearing this, Morong Qingqing blushed. Lin Xian wanted to say something, but he suddenly thought of something and put down his hand. Sorry to disturb elder's cultivation. This junior will take his leave. Lin Xian and Morong Qingqing turned and left. What did you want to say just now? Morong Qingqing asked. Nothing. What kind of pill do you want to refine? Lin Xian shook his head and asked. 3-day origin pill. A pill that can raise the cultivation of an honorable realm expert. Morong Qingqing said. I haven't gathered all the ingredients yet. After I gather them, you have to help me refine the pill. Okay. Lin Xian agreed. The two of them talked as they walked, and soon returned to the courtyard. This is a pair of gloves that I got outside. Didn't you choose the falling flower sword palm last time? I think it should be useful. Chapter 740. A top-grade spirit rank artifact. Morong Qingqing looked at the purple gold fist glove in her hand, and was slightly surprised. Then she snorted. Isn't it just giving a glove? Is there a need to be so shy? Although she snorted, there was an unconcealable smile in her eyes. Holding that pair of gloves that were shining with a purple gold light in her arms, Morong Qingqing walked into the courtyard happily. Lin Xian returned to the courtyard and casually set up a defensive formation. Then he took out the jade pill box. With a flick of his finger, he opened the pill box. Then, a ball of fragrance rose, forming a pill fragrance that could be seen with the naked eye. Inhale. Lin Xian took a deep breath and inhaled the pill fragrance into his body. He immediately let out a low cry of comfort. That feeling was too good, as if all the fatigue in his body was gone. As expected of a pill worth 20,000 spiritual value points, the effect was extraordinary. Lin Xian praised. According to his estimation, this little spirit pill was at least a 5th-grade pill, and it was a top-grade pill among the 5th-grade pills. Lin Xian did not consume it immediately. Instead, he adjusted his condition to its peak. Then he consumed the little spirit pill. Immediately, a huge wave of spirit energy spread out, as if an endless tide of souls was attacking his body. Longevity art. Lin Xian channeled all his strength to break through to the half-step venerable realm. 2 hours later, There was a sudden change above Lin Xian's courtyard. Wind and clouds surged. Countless spirit energy gathered there, forming a huge vortex of spirit energy that spun rapidly. The nearby students all saw this scene, and many of them raised their heads to look. When Wang Li, the three Hao brothers, and the others saw this, they quickly ran towards Lin Xian's courtyard. Did he break through? In the courtyard not far away, Xiao Li looked at the sky, his eyes flickering. I wonder what strength that guy will reach after breaking through. Second level Venerable Realm? Xiao Li whispered. He had fought with Lin Xian before, and had witnessed Lin Xian's strange and powerful strength. Back then, when he was in the Limit Realm, his strength was already comparable to a second-level Venerable Realm cultivator. Now that he had broken through to the half-step Venerable Realm, he was probably even stronger. This guy, I really want to fight with him. Xiao Li's eyes were filled with fighting spirit. On the other side, Shen Yaotian looked at the sky with a gloomy expression. Humph, I'll let you be smug for a while longer. Once I achieve the second layer Martial Highness realm, it will be your death date. Lin Xian's breakthrough attracted the attention of many people, but the process was very short. Soon the vortex in the sky disappeared. Then, a powerful surge of energy gushed out from the courtyard and swept out in all directions. Whoosh! A figure appeared in the sky. It was Lin Xian. Boss! Wang Li, the three Hao brothers, and the others shouted excitedly. Lin Xian nodded slightly. Just as he was about to go down, a shocking saber light slashed down, covering half the sky. It was incomparably terrifying. In the next moment, everyone below trembled, feeling as if their bodies were being split apart. Lin Xian's eyes focused. He let out a long roar, and also slashed out a large sword light. When the saber and sword collided, cracks appeared in the void. The terrifying sound of metal shook the surroundings, causing countless people to turn pale. How terrifying! Everyone's hearts trembled as they continuously retreated. Wang Li and the other members of the Dragon Sword Pavilion were also shocked. Just who was this person that could actually contend with their boss? Morong Qingcheng's white robe fluttered in the wind as she looked up with a smile on her face. Haha, Xiao Li, it seems like your strength has improved. Lin Xian's laughter rang out. I still have things to do today. I'll definitely fight with you another day. Lin Xian waved his sleeve and sent a violent energy storm into the sky. Anytime, Xiao Li replied. Lin Xian landed in the courtyard and said to Wang Li and the others, Come in. Then, Wang Li and the other 11 people entered the courtyard. How are the spiritual herbs I asked you to collect? Lin Xian asked. They're all collected. Wang Li and the others said excitedly. This was related to their elixirs, so everyone was very enthusiastic. Take them all out. Lin Xian smiled. I'll refine some elixirs for you, and then return to the Blazing Mountain. 10 days later, if I don't return, Wang Li, send 2 people to Lion Moon City's Wang family to get the elixirs. Say my name, and they'll tell you what to do. Alright, you can all go back. Come back in 3 days. Yes, boss. Wang Li and the others left. Lin Xian collected the spiritual herbs on the ground and began to refine elixirs. Lin Xian's elixir refining skills had not fallen behind. Moreover, as his soul power continued to strengthen, he could now easily refine 5th-grade elixirs. If he could enter the honorable realm, he would be able to refine 6th-grade elixirs. In 3 days, Lin Xian refined 3 types of elixirs, all of which were used to improve cultivation. After handing these elixirs to Wang Li and the others, Lin Xian said, Take these elixirs first and work hard to improve your cultivation. During this period of time, I won't be here, so listen to Wang Li. Wang Li, I'll leave these people to you. You must ensure their safety and don't cause trouble. If there's anything, wait for me to return. Yes, Brother Xian, don't worry. Wang Li said. After Lin Xian gave these instructions, he immediately left. Not long after Lin Xian left, Morong Qingcheng also left. She seemed to have accepted some mission. Half a day after they left, a figure quickly arrived at the new student area. It was a young man wearing a navy blue robe. His long blue hair fluttered in the wind. His aura was terrifying like a flood or a beast. Who is Lin Xian? Get out here. The terrifying voice was like thunder, shaking the surroundings. In the next moment, Countless new students raised their heads and looked up in horror. Wang Li and the others also came out of seclusion and raised their heads with gloomy expressions. In the sky, the young man stood on a black cloud and looked around coldly like a demon king. Weren't you very arrogant at the spirit tower? You actually dared to beat up greedy wolf's people. Now you're scared. Why don't you dare to come out? Hearing this, the people below understood that greedy wolf's people had come to find them. However, Lin Xian went out in the morning and wasn't here. Many people saw Lin Xian turn into a sword light and disappear into the sky early in the morning. Don't insult Brother Xian. The three Hao brothers were jealous and rushed forward. Stop, don't be rash. Wang Li also rushed out and stopped those people. Then he said in a deep voice, Brother Xian went out and isn't here. If there's anything, you can talk about it later. Although the other party's words made them angry, Lin Xian had told them to be careful before he left. Safety first. Moreover, the other party was a senior and a member of Greedy Wolf. He must be very powerful. If they attacked now, they would be the ones at a disadvantage. For safety reasons, Wang Li stopped everyone. He left. I think he ran away. The man in the green robe sneered. I thought there was a genius among the new students. I didn't expect him to be a coward. Kid, as a new student, you must have the awareness of a new student. In this academy, you are the lowest existence. You have no right to be arrogant. Hearing this, the faces of the new students below turned ugly. The man in the green robe was no longer talking about Lin Xian. Chapter 741. Fuck your ancestors. How dare you scold Brother Xian? I'll kill you. Howda shouted angrily. He pulled out the long saber on his back and slashed down. Buzz! The dazzling saber light was like a silver river, rolling towards the man in green. You overestimate yourself. The man in green sneered and punched out. This punch was not infused with spiritual energy, but purely the strength of his physical body. It was like a raging dragon that roared out. In the next moment, the dazzling saber light shattered into countless pieces. However, the fist did not stop and continued to rush towards Howda. Not good retreat. Wang Li shouted. The fact that the opponent could shatter Howda's attack with one punch meant that their strength was not on the same level. If this continued, they would definitely be at a disadvantage. He quickly rose into the air and threw out a small yellow shield with a wave of his hand. The small yellow shield was only the size of a palm at first, but it quickly grew in size as it flew. In the end, it was like a house blocking in front of Howda. It was a mid-grade spiritual artifact, the Earth Armor Shield. Boom! The terrifying fist landed on the yellow shield with a roar. It was like a mountain smashing down mercilessly. The terrifying force caused the entire void to boil. Although the Earth Armor Shield was not broken, it flew out and hit Howda, causing him to retreat. Puff! Howda was hit. His arms were numb and blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. Fortunately, he had a mid-grade spiritual artifact. Otherwise, this punch would have caused him serious injuries. Although you're a senior, don't you think it's too much to bully freshmen in public? Wang Li said coldly as he supported Howda and put away the Earth Armor Shield. The others also rushed over and gathered together, staring at the sky. What, you don't agree? The man in green sneered. Freshmen should act like freshmen. As a senior, I naturally have the obligation to educate you. Today I'll teach you a good lesson. With that he punched again. The terrifying fist was like a demonic mountain, quickly falling down. This punch enveloped Wang Li and the others. It could be said that it was extremely arrogant. You've gone too far. Wang Li and the others' faces turned ugly. Although they were freshmen, they were still geniuses. They were very proud. Now that the man in green was so aggressive, they could not hold back. Go. Kill him. Howda roared, and Hao Air and Hao San immediately responded. The three brothers attacked together, unleashing a terrifying attack that blasted upwards. Boom! An earth-shattering sound came out, and the rolling spiritual energy was like a wave that slapped in all directions. The three Hao brothers were in a sorry state. They kept retreating, causing the ground to crack. In the sky, the two attacks disappeared and turned into howling gales. To be able to block my punch, you have some ability. The green-robed man sneered. However, I only used 30% of my strength in that punch. Next, I will use 50% of my strength. Let's see how you can block it. What? 30% of my strength? Below them, the new students were shocked. 30% of his strength was enough to make the three Hao brothers retreat. After all, they were first-rank venerables. He was actually no match for the green-robed man's fist. It would appear that the cyan-robed man's strength had most definitely reached the second heavenly layer of exalted realm. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to be so powerful. 30% of your strength? Is it that awesome? A few people from the Dragon Sword Pavilion shouted. If you have the ability, go fight for the Mystic Sovereign leaderboard. What kind of ability is it to bully a new student here? That's right, Brother Xian isn't here. Otherwise, I would have killed you with a single strike. You only took advantage of Brother Xian's absence to rush over. Why didn't you come a few days ago? You probably didn't dare. The few of them were extremely angry as they mocked and ridiculed. They couldn't beat him, so how could they not beat him? I'm afraid of him? The green-robed man laughed. I think water has entered your brains. You actually believe that Lin Xian so much. Let me tell you, I'm a second-rank venerable. That Lin Xian of yours, I can kill him with a single finger. This time he ran fast, but you guys won't be so lucky. The green-robed man emitted a terrifying aura. You dare to offend the greedy wolf gang. Do you think I will let you off? What are you being arrogant for? Isn't it just a few years of cultivation? How'da sneered. If I were your age, I would have killed you with a single slap. Although we are new students, the Dragon Sword Pavilion is not to be bullied by anyone. Wang Li said in a deep voice. If you want to fight, we will accompany you. All members of the Dragon Sword Pavilion prepare to attack. With that order, the 11 of them roared angrily and unleashed their powerful auras. The spiritual energy on their bodies was like divine flames as they jumped about. Everyone attacked together, and their momentum was extremely terrifying. In the sky, the green-robed man frowned. Although he was a second-rank venerable, the other party could not be underestimated. Moreover, the 11 of them had joined forces. Among them, 5 were first-rank venerables and 6 were half-step venerables. When these warriors gathered together, they were definitely a powerful force. Even he might not be able to completely take them on. It's not that easy to fight with your lives on the line. For the next few days, I will let you guys live in fear. The green-robed man sneered, then turned into a ray of light and disappeared. Looking at the green-robed man who left, Wang Li and the others heaved a sigh of relief. After all, the other party was a second-rank venerable and a member of the greedy wolf gang. If they really fought, they had no chance of winning. Fortunately, the other party wasn't confident, or else he wouldn't have left. Before Brother Xian returns, let's not split up, Wang Li said. Otherwise, we will be defeated one by one. What greedy wolf gang? When Brother Xian returns, they will be nothing. The few of them cursed, and then entered the courtyard. Lin Xian naturally didn't know about the greedy wolf gang's provocation. He had already arrived near the blazing mountain. A fiery red mountain stood in the distance, exuding a monstrous heat that warped the space around it. Scarlet lava flowed like the blood of a demon god. It was extremely terrifying. Lin Xian looked at the legendary flaming mountain and exclaimed, judging from the energy waves that were being emitted, this place was extremely dangerous. Even if a supremacy was here, he would not be able to survive. However, it was really a good place to cultivate. Lin Xian took a deep breath. Then his body swayed and flew towards the blazing mountain. The closer he got to the blazing mountain, the hotter the air became. Following that, there was a dense and majestic spiritual energy. There should be a fire attribute spiritual vein below. The dark red divine dragon also flew out and looked down. I didn't expect there to be such a place. I can use this chance to break through. It let out a howl of excitement. Then let's go. Lin Xian shouted, then increased his speed. A man and a dragon quickly rushed towards the blazing mountain. Whoosh! Whoosh! When Lin Xian landed on the blazing mountain, the heat in the sky pounced on him like a ferocious beast. At the same time, the red stone under his feet was boiling hot, as if it could melt everything. Lin Xian circulated his spiritual energy, forming a sharp halo that covered his body. The light shield formed by spiritual energy made contact with the ground, making a sizzling sound. Chapter 742. The blazing mountain was filled with terrifying heat waves. Cultivators below the honorable realm couldn't survive here. Boom! Suddenly, the red stone beneath Lin Xian's feet cracked, and a red pillar of light shot out, bringing with it countless heat waves. Lin Xian's figure flashed, and appeared 100 meters away in an instant. In the next moment, the place where he was standing was covered by molten lava. Blazing molten lava bubbles rolled and cracked, looking extremely ferocious. How dangerous! Lin Xian's heart still had lingering fear. Even an honorable realm expert wouldn't feel good if they encountered that molten lava. Bang! In the distance, an earth-shattering sound rang out. Endless flames surged out, forming numerous fire crows that flew into the sky. Then, a figure rushed up and engaged in a great battle. There's someone else! Lin Xian looked at the battle in the distance, and was slightly surprised. Looks like it should be the disciples of the Immortal Martial Academy. There are so many fierce people here. Lin Xian exclaimed. He originally thought that he was the only one who was willing to come to such a damned place. Now it seemed that there were many powerful cultivators here. Retracting his gaze, Lin Xian didn't delay any longer. He turned into a ray of light, and rushed into the depths of the blazing mountain. Finding a place with denser spiritual energy, Lin Xian set up a defensive formation, and began to cultivate. The blazing mountain was huge. Lin Xian's current location was still in the periphery, but the spiritual energy there was already very dense. Moreover, the main reason was that the heat in front of him had doubled. Unless he used the Red Lotus armor, he wouldn't dare to go forward. After thinking about it, Lin Xian decided to cultivate on the spot, and wait for his cultivation to increase before heading into the depths. The dark red divine dragon didn't stay with Lin Xian. Instead, it found a place to cultivate by itself. The snow-white monkey carried the treasure plate, and began to search for spiritual fruits in the surroundings. Lin Xian didn't cultivate immediately. Instead, he focused on sensing the fire attribute around him. He had already comprehended the concept of fire, and reached the small success stage. Now he wanted to use this place to break through to the great perfection stage. As if sensing Lin Xian's concept of fire, the surrounding flames all jumped as if they were activated. Wang! Countless flames gathered, forming a flaming demon monkey. It was over a meter tall, and its entire body was covered in crimson flames. Its ferocious eyes stared at Lin Xian. This is... Lin Xian was surprised. He didn't expect such a thing to appear here. Roar! The flaming demon monkey roared and grabbed at Lin Xian. With a flash of fire, the flaming demon monkey arrived before Lin Xian. It waved its sharp claws and countless flames roared. Lin Xian snorted coldly. His palm was also covered in a layer of flames. As he slammed it towards the flaming demon monkey, the two collided with each other, emitting a sizzling sound. In the next moment, the flaming demon monkey melted under Lin Xian's palm, turning into a clump of dark red flames the size of a fingernail. It quickly entered Lin Xian's body. This is... Lin Xian was shocked. He felt that after the flames entered his body, they did not go berserk. Instead, they turned into the purest form of energy. At the same time, he felt that his concept of fire was much stronger than before. He was able to use flames more easily. Could it be a flame essence? Lin Xian knew that in some special places, the energy between heaven and earth would give birth to spirituality. It also contained a pure and mystical power. The flaming demon monkey from before was probably a type of flame essence. Thinking of this, he became even more excited. If he encountered more flame essences, he would be able to quickly cultivate his concept of fire to the great circle. However, flame essences were very rare. Besides the flaming demon monkey that he encountered at the beginning, Lin Xian did not see anything else. In this way, Lin Xian comprehended the concept of fire while cultivating and improving his cultivation. Boom! The surrounding fire attribute was activated, forming countless flames that rushed towards Lin Xian. This was the result of Lin Xian using the longevity art to absorb spiritual energy. Lin Xian opened his defense and resisted with all his strength. Boom boom boom. Those violent flames hit Lin Xian's body, causing his body to sway. His face was slightly pale, but he still gritted his teeth and used the longevity art. In an instant, those flames turned into the purest spiritual energy and drilled into Lin Xian's body. With the use of the longevity art, the spiritual energy in his body rotated according to a specific path and became his spiritual energy. With the increase of the flame's spiritual energy, Lin Xian felt that the spiritual energy in his body was more solid and stronger than before. As expected of the flaming mountain, it can improve so much in such a short time. Lin Xian was happy and crazily used the longevity art. At the same time, he took out some ordinary fire attribute spiritual herbs from his storage ring and took some spiritual pills and spiritual wine. This time, he must break through to the honorable realm. Soon Lin Xian took out a crimson fruit. There were dark patterns on the fruit. This was 1,000-year-old spiritual fire, the flaming fruit. He obtained it in the lost place. In the next moment he ate the flaming fruit. The flaming fruit melted in his mouth and turned into a ball of pure energy that flowed into his body. At the same time, there was a wave of heat. Boom! The 1,000-year-old spiritual fruit contained a huge amount of energy. At this moment, it was completely activated in Lin Xian's body and spread out like a wave of fire. At the same time, more flames collided with the outside world. Those flames no longer existed alone, but formed a cluster and stabbed at Lin Xian like a flaming fork. Countless fire attribute spiritual energy crazily bombarded Lin Xian's body. In an instant, a large amount of spiritual energy flowed into Lin Xian's body. The spiritual energy combined with the energy of the flaming fruit to form an even stronger energy attack. It's not enough, Lin Xian shouted. If he wanted to break through in one go, he needed more energy. Great Dragon Sword Soul transform. In the next moment, a sword aura appeared above his head and turned into a ferocious dragon head. The dragon opened its mouth and formed a powerful devouring force that began to devour the surrounding fire attribute spiritual energy. The great dragon sword soul was extremely powerful, and the devouring force it formed at this moment was even more powerful. Countless flames gathered and formed a sea of fire that pounced at Lin Xian. More than half of the sky was dyed red. The sea of fire covered the sky and enveloped an area of 1,000 meters. This terrifying scene attracted the attention of the other cultivators in the flaming mountain. Many people raised their heads and looked at the fiery red sky in the distance. Who is it that caused such a huge commotion? Many people's eyes narrowed. This terrifying sea of fire was not something they could contend against. One had to know that the flaming mountain was extremely dangerous. The flames here were not ordinary flames, but had spirituality. They were much more ferocious than the flames outside. Under normal circumstances, martial artists below the Venerable Realm would not dare to enter. Even Venerable Realm powerhouses would not dare to attract so many flames at once. This was obviously playing with fire. In an instant, Lin Xian was surrounded by thousands of flames. The terrifying heat melted his clothes, revealing his robust body. Chapter 743. Lin Xian engraved the pattern of the red lotus armor on his body, forming a solid defense to resist the terrifying flames. It was because of this defense that he dared to absorb so much at once. The spiritual fire of the flaming mountain, combined with the 1,000-year-old flaming fruit, to form a powerful spiritual energy that attacked Lin Xian's meridians. Go all out. Lin Xian gritted his teeth and crazily circulated the longevity art. The process was very slow and lasted for 5 days. After all, it was not that easy to break through to the honorable realm. After 5 days, he had gathered enough spiritual energy, and his body overflowed with flames that kept jumping. It's about time. Feeling the spiritual energy in his body, Lin Xian decided to start breaking through to the honorable realm. In the honorable realm, it was no longer a chi si but a martial soul. The martial soul was the source of the honorable realm's power. Lin Xian had already condensed his martial soul and gathered a lot of energy. He already had the possibility of breaking through to the honorable realm. In his body, the dragon sword soul coiled up and formed a mini dragon. He roared at the sky and sucked a lot of spiritual energy into his body. Buzz! A low sound was heard like thunder. A huge aura overflowed, as if a peerless beast had awakened. The dragon sword soul flickered, and kept absorbing the spiritual energy around it. It became brighter and brighter, and gradually solidified from its original illusory appearance. Lin Xian knew that the dragon sword soul was awakening. When it fully awakened, it would enter the honorable realm. However, the dragon sword soul was too powerful. It was like a bottomless pit that crazily devoured spiritual energy. Soon, the spiritual energy in Lin Xian's body was depleted. However, Lin Xian was well prepared this time. He could not afford to fail. He swallowed another 1,000-year-old spiritual fruit, and quickly absorbed the surrounding fire attribute spiritual energy. Roar! The dragon sword soul trembled, and the light on its body became brighter and brighter. Its body was also slowly growing. In the end it roared and raised its head high. Boom! Lin Xian's body shook. He felt an inexplicable change in his body. It was as if his entire body had been sublimated. I broke through. He was pleasantly surprised. This feeling was too wonderful. It was as if his body had endless power. Furthermore, he discovered that his control over the great dragon sword soul had become even more proficient. It was as if the two had merged into one. With a flash, Lin Xian charged into the sky. Endless light bloomed from his body, forming a light dragon that soared into the 9 heavens. This feeling was too wonderful. What is that, a dragon? On the flaming mountain, many people raised their heads in shock. The power just now was too overwhelming, and the entire flaming mountain could feel it. They originally wanted to see what kind of person could actually cause such a big commotion. However, before they could move, a dragon's roar appeared in the sky. Could it really be a dragon? Many people were excited. This kind of thing that only existed in legends, they didn't expect it to really exist. Impossible, that's not a dragon, but some kind of powerful martial skill. An expert looked at the sky and said, "How could a divine beast like a dragon appear here?" Quite a few people shook their heads. They knew that it was impossible for a dragon to appear on the martial heaven continent. However, in the next moment, they were stunned once again. The reason for that was because, not long after that light dragon's silhouette appeared, another dragon roar sounded. Following that, an even larger body appeared in the sky. This time, it was no longer a silhouette but a real body. Those sinisterly flickering scales bloomed with a cold light in the air, and a powerful pressure enveloped the surroundings. Ha ha ha! An extremely arrogant voice sounded, as if a peerless demon had appeared. Lin Xian felt this aura, and was slightly surprised. This was the aura of the dark red divine dragon. He didn't expect that the other party had also broken through to the venerable realm. Hee little Xian, let's fight! The dark red divine dragon laughed sinisterly, and a huge dragon claw grabbed at Lin Xian. After breaking through to the venerable realm, his body was 100 meters long, and Lin Xian's light dragon was only 10 meters long. Therefore, this claw completely enveloped Lin Xian. Just nice, I can test my strength after breaking through. Lin Xian smiled, swung the dragon's head and won. Whoosh! He turned into a bolt of lightning, quickly dodging the attack, and then went up against the wind. The two of them fought fiercely, stirring up the wind and clouds in the flaming mountain, shocking the surrounding martial artists. The two dragons are fighting? Many people rubbed their eyes in disbelief. After a few clashes, Lin Xian had a better understanding of his own strength. Most likely, ordinary second-level venerables were no match for him at all. If he fought with all his strength, he might be able to fight against the third-level venerables. Ouch, it hurts. As expected of an offensive saint technique, the dark red divine dragon muttered. Alright, don't attract the attention of others, Lin Xian shouted, turned into his human form, and landed on the ground. The dark red divine dragon also howled, and turned into a 1-meter-long dragon again. Wuji the snow-white little monkey found a pile of spirit fruits from God knows where, and ate them very happily. This little guy didn't need to cultivate, and could improve just by eating spirit fruits. It was amazing. Lin Xian didn't know what realm the little white monkey had reached, but the other party was an ordinary first-level venerable, so he didn't feel any pressure at all. Now that his cultivation had broken through, The next step was the concept of fire. Lin Xian looked toward the depths of the flaming mountain. Now that his strength had increased, he could set off from here. Let's go and take a look. Lin Xian was very curious about the depths of the flaming mountain. One man and two beasts walked toward the depths. Lin Xian walked steadily along the winding mountain path. The temperature in front of him rose again, and orange flames appeared. It was very terrifying. Even though Lin Xian had broken through, he didn't dare to be careless. He realized that this orange flame could already threaten a second-level venerable. At least if he was careless he could die. How deep was the flaming mountain? Lin Xian was shocked. He had just entered the mountain and was already facing a threat. He really didn't know what kind of danger there would be inside. Alright, I can't go any further. Lin Xian stopped. He realized that with his strength, he wouldn't be able to withstand it if he went any further. The dark red divine dragon also looked around curiously. Its body was tough and didn't fear the flames at all. However, it was indeed unbearably hot. At this moment, it stuck out its tongue and was sweating profusely. Damn, what the hell is this place? It's so hot. The little white monkey also looked dispirited. It plucked a leaf and covered its head, comprehending the concept of fire here. Lin Xian sat down cross-legged and carefully comprehended it. He had once possessed the black dragon flames and had mastered many concepts. Therefore, he was very good at comprehending concepts. When he was in the periphery, he had already achieved great success in the concept of fire. Now he was only one step away from achieving great perfection. However, this step was more difficult than all the previous steps combined. Just as Lin Xian was comprehending, the other martial artists in the flaming mountain rushed over. They wanted to see where the divine dragon was. However, they didn't find anything because Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon had already left their original place and went deeper. This aura someone broke through here. Chapter 744. Could it be related to the two dragons that appeared? Everyone was puzzled. Impossible. Judging from this aura, he's only breaking through to the venerable realm. Someone said disdainfully. Suddenly, that person's expression froze as if he had thought of something. Someone below the venerable realm is actually fine here? How is that possible? Hearing that, many cultivators gasped. They were all venerable realm cultivators, and naturally knew how terrifying this place was. Cultivators below the venerable realm had no chance of surviving here. However, someone had broken through here, and his cultivation hadn't even reached the venerable realm before. This was too shocking. Maybe he's not alone. He might have an expert accompanying him. Yes, that must be it. The cultivators became more and more certain of their thoughts. Then, they discussed for a while and finally left. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. In the belly of the mountain of flames, Lin Xian continued to comprehend the concept of fire. Not long ago, he encountered another flame spirit and obtained a lot of benefits after killing it. Now he was even closer to the great perfection realm. Perhaps he would succeed with another flame spirit. Lin Xian was excited. It was as if the heavens were helping him. Not long after, the surrounding flames burned brightly and jumped, condensing into a giant lava beast. A scorching and powerful aura surged out and swept in all directions, as if the god of fire had appeared. That aura was stronger than that of an ordinary second-level venerable. It's here. Lin Xian focused his gaze and looked ahead. It was a 3-meter-tall stone man with countless cracks on his body. Countless flames emerged from those cracks and enveloped his entire body. In his eye sockets, there were 2 orange-red flames jumping, showing a trace of the aura of a soul. Very strong. Lin Xian's expression was solemn. He didn't dare to underestimate it. The strength displayed by the other party was at least that of a second-level venerable. It was definitely incomparably powerful. His figure flashed and turned into a ray of light, rushing forward quickly. Whoosh! In an instant, he arrived in front of the lava giant. He clenched his fist and flames danced around him, condensing into a flame sword in his hand. Whoosh! The sword slashed down, and a blazing sword light rushed out. It was dazzling like a sea of fire. This sword was extremely violent, like a fire dragon that lowered its head and bit down. Roar! The lava giant roared in anger. It clenched its rock-like palm and suddenly blasted it out. Terrifying energy surged out like a volcanic eruption, causing everything in the surroundings to collapse. Boom! The two collided, and a terrifying energy storm swept out, tearing apart the ground in front of them and causing the surrounding mountains to collapse. Both of them took a step back and quickly removed the force from their bodies. This attack was actually evenly matched. But very quickly, the magma beast attacked again. He pounded the ground with his large hands, shattering it. Then with a roar, the flames on his body became even more dazzling, making him look like a fireball. Lin Xian frowned slightly. The giant lava beast's strength was beyond his expectations. Moreover, its defense was extremely strong. His sword strike just now had actually failed to cut it apart. He snorted coldly and mobilized the great dragon sword soul in his body to form another flaming sword. This time, the fiery light that filled the sky condensed, forming a crimson divine sword that was 3 feet long. There were crimson markings on it, and it was extremely mysterious. Sword of Summer, scorching sun in the sky. Lin Xian raised his sword high and chopped down with all his might. In the sky, the crimson sword erupted like a golden sun, incomparably dazzling. The light contained a peerless sharpness that was unstoppable, easily tearing apart the void. The magma beast felt danger and roared uneasily. Flames flickered all over his body, and he turned into a volcano and rushed over. Everywhere he passed, the ground cracked. Even a second-level honorable would not dare to easily resist such power. Destroy! In the sky, the golden sun-like sword fell, destroying everything and instantly striking the magma beast. Ka! Whoosh! The sword light flashed, and the magma beast's body stiffened. The rocks on his body kept falling off, and finally turned into a pile of rubble. In the pile of rubble, there was a fist-sized orange-red flame that kept on pulsing. Flame essence! Lin Xian's eyes flashed as he sucked the flame essence into his hand and began to absorb it. The flame essence this time was very powerful, more powerful than the previous two combined. In addition to Lin Xian's superb perception and rich experience, his concept of fire had finally reached perfection after a day. This time, Lin Xian's feeling towards the flaming mountain had changed. It was no longer the kind of rejection, but an unusual feeling of closeness. He knew that this was because his concept of fire had reached perfection. If he could condense a fire soul, then his fusion with flames would be even greater. At that time, all the flames in the world would be at his disposal. Hey, it's you! Suddenly, a soft voice was heard. Lin Xian looked back and saw a fiery red figure floating over from behind. Dongfang Feng Huang. Lin Xian was slightly stunned. He did not expect to meet her here. However, he soon understood. She was a fire attribute genius, and it was most suitable for her to cultivate here. You, what are you doing here? Dongfang Feng Huang stared at Lin Xian with a puzzled expression. Of course I'm here to cultivate. What else can I do? Lin Xian shrugged. Cultivate? Dongfang Feng Huang sneered. You have the leisure to do so. Your dragon sword pavilion is about to be destroyed, and you're still leisurely cultivating here? I really don't know if there's water in your brain. What did you say? Lin Xian's expression changed. You don't know? This time, it was Dongfang Fenghuang's turn to be surprised. She snorted. These days, the greedy wolf's people have been looking for trouble with you every day. Your friends have been bullied very badly. The outside world said that you didn't dare to fight and ran away. I didn't expect you to not know. Greedy wolf. Lin Xian's expression was gloomy, and murderous intent appeared in his eyes. He did not expect that the Dragon Sword Pavilion would be in trouble just a few days after he left. You better go take a look. Otherwise, your friends will be in trouble, Dongfang Fenghuang said. Thank you. Lin Xian cupped his hands, then turned into a stream of light and disappeared. This guy runs pretty fast. Dongfang Fenghuang curled her lips, then looked stunned. No, this kid's cultivation. Her beautiful eyes revealed a trace of surprise. When she first saw Lin Xian, although he was powerful, his cultivation was at the limit of the spiritual detecting realm. Just now he had the aura of an honorable. This kid he broke through? Dongfang Fenghuang was shocked. In less than a month, He broke through from the limit of the spiritual detecting realm to the honorable realm. This leap was too big. Even a peerless genius would not have such a cultivation speed. Could it be that this kid had a fortuitous encounter? Dongfang Fenghuang could not understand. She decided that when she returned, she would properly meet this Lin Xian. Lin Xian sped all the way and soon, he returned to the Immortal Martial Academy. Without any hesitation, Lin Xian ran toward the new student's dormitory. His eyes shone with a cold light. Previously, when he beat up the greedy wolf, he thought that it would teach him a lesson. He did not expect that the greedy wolf would become even more arrogant. Chapter 745. Immortal Martial Academy, Freshman Area. Wang Li and the rest were injured as they looked up at the sky in anger. There were several figures there. The leader was the green-robed man from before Yu Gui. The rest of them had powerful auras, and had reached the honorable realm. For the past few days, he had come every day. Furthermore, he had brought a group of subordinates to trap the people of Dragon Sword Pavilion below, making it impossible for them to escape. Since he couldn't catch Lin Xian, it was good to vent his anger on his subordinates. Therefore, he came every day to teach Wang Li and the rest a lesson. Yu Gui and the rest looked down with a mocking expression. Who should I start with today? Hearing this, the surrounding students shook their heads and felt sorry for these people. Wang Li and the others' eyes were gloomy as they trembled with anger. They didn't expect Tan Lang to be so overbearing and bring a group of people to trap them for 7 to 8 days. Moreover, he beat them up every day. They resisted, but there were too many of them, and they even brought a set of arrays. Scolding, "Let's fight." How to shout it, his eyes read. Yes, let's fight. How Air and How San agreed. Wait, Brother Xian should be back soon. Wang Li said in a low voice. He was also angry, but the gap between them was too big. If they went up, they would be courting death. Okay, let's start with you. Yu Gui pointed his finger at Wang Li. Hee, Brother Gui, I'll go first this time. A young martial artist laughed in the sky. I'm the best at teaching these freshmen a lesson. Okay, go ahead. Be careful, don't kill them. Yu Gui said. They talked and laughed, not putting Wang Li and the rest in their eyes. It was as if they were fish on the chopping board, waiting to be slaughtered. Fuck, let's fight. The 3 Hao brothers were furious. The others were also angry. This was too much. Io, you want to fight back? Did you forget what happened 2 days ago? Seems like I went too easy on you. The warrior from the greedy wolf gang grinned hideously. Then he waved a huge grayish-white hand and grabbed downward. Gray gas surrounded the giant hand, bringing with it an unsettling aura. Damn it! Wang Li shouted angrily and counterattacked. However, Yu Gui simply pointed out a finger and shattered the fist shadow he condensed. You still want to resist? You're overestimating yourselves. Yu Gui sneered. With him present, these people simply couldn't deal any damage. Whoosh! The grayish-white hand whistled and quickly grabbed at Wang Li. The others shouted angrily and wanted to attack, but they were restrained by the surrounding array. I'll beat up whoever I want. You have no choice. Just accept your fate, ha 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 ha. Yu Gui laughed wildly. This is the consequence of offending greed. Older brother Xian, come back quickly. Hao Da and the others were furious. Lin Xian. Haha, that trash won't dare to come out. Yu Gui laughed. You bunch of idiots. Do you really think that trash will come to save you? He might have already run away. Hee, get over here. The gray-white hand flickered with light like a ghostly hand from the underworld. It was incomparably terrifying, and was about to grab Wang Li. At this moment, a sword light flashed and instantly cut the gray-white hand into several pieces. Who is it? The youth was stunned and then became angry. Who dares to stop me? Get out here. Their greed gang actually dared to stop them. They really don't want to live anymore. Older brother Xian, it's older brother Xian. The 3 Hao brothers shouted excitedly. Wang Li's body trembled with excitement. Lin Xian. That trash. Before the gray-clothed youth could finish his words, a golden palm descended from the sky and instantly sent him flying. Bang! The gray-clothed youth flew out 100 feet, in an extremely sorry state. In the next moment, the golden palm flickered like a huge mountain and quickly grabbed at him again. Block it for me. The gray-clothed youth roared and punched out. A gray bat appeared in the air. It was 100 feet long, and emitted a murderous aura, as if it was really a fierce beast. It let out a mournful cry, and quickly rushed into the sky, as if it was going to tear the sky apart. Bang! The golden palm waved and destroyed the gray bat, then quickly grabbed at the gray-clothed youth. No, this is impossible. The gray-clothed youth was shocked and his eyelids twitched. He once again launched a terrifying attack, but it was useless. He couldn't hurt the golden palm at all. Brother Gui, save me! The gray-clothed youth cried out loudly, no longer as arrogant as before. Yugui's expression was cold. He pointed a finger, and a huge finger light rushed out with a purple-black light. It was as if a demon king was rampaging through the void. However, in the next moment, the golden palm suddenly accelerated and avoided the purple-black light, then slapped the gray-clothed youth to the ground. Bang! The ground trembled, as if there was an earthquake. If it weren't for the protection of the defensive formation, the surrounding 100 miles would have collapsed. What? The other members of the greedy wolf gang were shocked. This method was too fierce, and beyond their expectations. Even Yugui was surprised. Then his face darkened. The other party was actually able to dodge his attack, which surprised him. Moreover, what was even more hateful was that the other party didn't even show his face, and injured his subordinate in front of him. If this spread, he would lose face. Who is it? Come out! Yugui shouted angrily. The other members of the greedy wolf gang also shouted coldly. How dare you interfere with our greedy wolf gang's matters? You're dead. How arrogant. A cold voice sounded. However, in front of me, you don't have the right to be arrogant. Don't you like to torture people? Today, I'll let you play to your heart's content. Then, the golden palm waved again, grabbing the gray-clothed youth in the deep pit on the ground, and waving him in the air before slapping him down again. Bang! 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 The ground trembled as if an ancient giant was walking. The gray-clothed youth felt dizzy, and he felt as if his entire body was about to split open. He was about to go crazy, and even had the thought of dying. He struggled with all his might, but it was useless. Below, the group of freshmen were stunned. This method is too terrifying. Who is it that's so powerful? Someone who dares to offend the greedy wolf gang, and is willing to help the Dragon Sword Pavilion. Could it be Lin Xian? Impossible. Although that guy has some ability, he's not that terrifying. Didn't you see that Yugui's attack was dodged? That's a second-level venerable. No matter how powerful Lin Xian was, it was impossible for him to be stronger than a second-level venerable. Everyone shook their heads in disbelief. Wang Li and the rest were abnormally excited. Older brother Xian, it's older brother Xian. In the Immortal Martial Academy, other than Lin Xian, no expert would save them. Older brother Xian broke through. That's great. Brat, don't be too arrogant. Let go. Yugui was furious. Beating up his underling in front of so many people was equivalent to slapping his face. Arrogant? Am I arrogant? Compared to your greedy wolf gang, I'm still lacking. The golden palm slapped down, tearing apart the formation that trapped the members of the Dragon Sword Pavilion, and then threw the gray-clothed youth over. I don't need to say how to deal with this, right? Boss! The three Hao brothers and the rest were agitated. Brothers, let's take revenge! 11 members of the Dragon Sword Pavilion pounced forward. Chapter 746. The gray-clothed youth screamed miserably as he was tortured by the Dragon Sword Pavilion. In the sky, the members of the Ravenous Wolf Gang looked gloomy with a trace of fear. No one can save you if you offend the Ravenous Wolf Gang. Yugui's voice was filled with killing intent. No one can save you if you offend the Dragon Sword Pavilion. The cold voice sounded again. You're courting death. Yugui was furious. He pointed his 5 fingers at the sky and shot out 5 thick finger beams in all directions. Each beam was as thick as a mountain, and as sharp as a demonic spear. They pierced through the void. However, when these attacks hit the void and stirred up a violent storm, they were unable to force the other party out. If you offend the Dragon Sword Pavilion, you will be punished accordingly. Now atone for your sins. The voice reverberated as countless light swords appeared in the sky, Sword chi flickered and filled the sky. Each light sword shone with a cold light. Although they were condensed from spiritual energy, they were extremely terrifying, and were not weaker than treasures. The moment dozens of light swords appeared, the sky changed color, and an endless murderous aura filled the air. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In the next moment, these light swords all slashed towards the members of the Ravenous Wolf Gang. Not good run. The members of the Ravenous Wolf Gang were so scared that their faces turned green, and their scalps went numb. The aura was too terrifying and they definitely could not resist it. Yugui was furious and counterattacked as well. However, there were too many light swords, and he could not deal with them at all. Bang bang bang. Ah! Violent collisions and screams sounded. Every time there was a sound, a member of the Ravenous Wolf Gang would be killed. As for the members of the Ravenous Wolf Gang who fell to the ground, they were surrounded by Wang Li and the others and beaten up. In just an instant, other than Yugui, everyone else in the sky was killed. Everyone below was shocked as if they were dreaming. Yugui's expression was even uglier. He was so angry that he shouted, "Who are you? Come out! You don't even know who I am, and you dare to behave atrociously here?" A disdainful voice sounded. Then a figure appeared. "Kid, it's you." Yugui was shocked when he saw it. The people below were even more shocked. "Lin Xian, how is that possible? When did he become so strong? He can even fight against a second-stage venerable. Oh my god, is he still a freshman?" Countless people exclaimed. Yugui was also shocked. He stared at Lin Xian and suddenly said, "You broke through. Exalt Realm. That's impossible." He screamed, his face full of shock. A few days ago, he was still an extreme martial artist, yet he had broken through to the Venerable Realm in just over 10 days? This cultivation speed had overturned his understanding. That's impossible. Even a peerless genius wouldn't be able to do that. Yugui didn't believe it. "Don't use your useless brain to guess my affairs," Lin Xian said disdainfully. "Didn't you say you were looking for me? Here I am." This voice was very calm, but it was incomparably domineering. But Yugui was stunned and didn't make a move. "What? You don't dare?" Lin Xian sneered. "You've been scheming for so long. You've been squatting in the freshman area for more than 10 days. Wasn't it all because you wanted to make a move on me? Are you scared now? What's the difference between a person like you and a cowardly piece of trash? Kid, don't be too proud." Yugui's face was gloomy. "Although you've broken through, you're not a threat to me at all. I'll let you know the difference between a first-level venerable and a second-level venerable." "Difference?" Lin Xian laughed. "I'll also let you know how ignorant you are. Impudent, die for me." Yugui shouted angrily and raised his hand to attack. A huge purple-black skeleton appeared in the sky, surrounded by purple-black demonic chi. It was like a demon from hell, and its body was full of killing intent. Its 2 eyes were cold and flashed with a purple light. It was terrifying. Whoosh! Following Yugui's movements, the huge purple-black skeleton also moved quickly. Its pair of ghost claws could shatter heaven and earth as it grabbed at Lin Xian. Vermilion bird seal. Lin Xian formed a seal with his palm, and quickly blasted it out. On his fingertip, countless fiery red auras surrounded it, and rushed out quickly. Then a huge vermilion bird flew out from Lin Xian's fingertip. It spread its wings and soared, suppressing the 9 heavens. When it spread its wings, it was hundreds of feet long. Its body was bathed in flames, and its feathers were crystal clear. After the concept of fire reached perfection, the power of the vermilion bird seal became even stronger. It was as if it could burn everything in the world. The fiery red vermilion bird was as tall as a mountain. Its body was covered in a blazing light as it rushed upward. Its sharp claws and wings flapped, as if it could split the heavens and earth. Boom! Pooh! With a claw, the vermilion bird tore the huge purple-black skeleton apart. Then, it turned into a ball of divine fire and burned it. A strong wind blew, and only powder floated down. Yugui's pupils constricted. His ultimate technique was broken just like that? He felt fear in his heart. Yugui wanted to retreat, because the other party was too strange. However, Lin Xian did not give him a chance at all. The vermilion bird seal was used again, and it quickly blasted over. The flames burned fiercely, as if a sun was rampaging through the void. Yugui could not dodge, so he could only resist. Boom! The vermilion bird slammed into Yugui's body, and then a powerful energy attack exploded. Yugui only lasted for a moment before he was sent flying. Blood was left behind in the air. A second-level venerable had been defeated in one strike. Everyone below was stunned. Lin Xian's strength had completely exceeded their expectations. Especially those from the greedy wolf gang. They were in despair. Impossible! Yugui stood up in the void with difficulty, his eyes filled with shock and fear. Brat, I won't let you off, he said hatefully. Then, purple-black chi rose from his body as he tried to escape. Don't you think it's too late to leave? Lin Xian sneered. You injured my Dragon Sword Pavilion's people. And you want to leave just like that? He snorted coldly and pulled out his sword. Autumn Sword Prairie Fire. Countless flames rushed out from the tip of the sword and quickly spread in all directions. Soon, the entire sky was a sea of fire. Terrifying heat waves spread out in all directions, melting the void. One sword had sealed the world in all directions. Now it was time to settle the score. Lin Xian took a step forward and instantly appeared beside Yugui. His 5 fingers were like swords, piercing into the purple-black demonic chi. Ah! In the next moment, Yugui screamed. I've already transformed into an illusory body. How can you hurt me? He screamed in horror. I've said it before. Don't use your useless brain to think about my matters. Lin Xian said disdainfully. With your strength, you dare to touch the Dragon Sword Pavilion? You're courting death. He clenched his 5 fingers, causing Yugui to scream even more miserably. Soon, Yugui transformed back into his human form. Brat, if you dare to touch me, the greedy wolf gang won't let you off. Fool! Lin Xian snorted. No need to say such harsh words. I don't intend to let the greedy wolf gang off either. He flicked his finger, and a sharp sword light condensed on his fingertip. If you dare to touch my brother, you will pay the price in blood. Poof! The sword light pierced into Yugui's body. This sword is for Wang Li. Poof! This sword is for Liang Wei. Poof! Poof! These 3 swords are for the 3 Hao brothers. Chapter 747. In an instant, 11 light swords appeared on Yugui's body and pierced through his body. Wang Li and the other members of the Dragon Sword Pavilion clenched their fists in excitement. They had been tortured by Yugui and the others for more than 10 days, and now they could finally spit out their anger. Even the spectating freshmen were excited as they felt their blood boil. Scram! If you dare to provoke the Dragon Sword Pavilion again, your fates will be even more miserable. Lin Xian coldly snorted, then turned and flew down. Brother Xian! Wang Li and the others shouted respectfully. Are you guys alright? Lin Xian asked. It's fine, we can still withstand this kind of injury. The main thing is that the other party is too much of a bully. Yeah, being trapped for 7 or 8 days is too stifling. But now it's good, Brother Xian has helped us vent our anger. The group of people said excitedly. Don't worry, this matter won't end so easily. Even if the greed gang agrees, I want. Brother Xian, could it be that you want to? A few of them were uncertain. You guys recuperate first, then go to Lion Moon City to get the pills. Once your cultivation has increased, it'll take you guys to take revenge. There's no need for the greed gang to exist. Lin Xian's eyes flashed as a domineering aura rose from his body. Yes, sir. Everyone was excited. They knew that the Dragon Sword Pavilion was about to rise. Lin Xian, I wonder if your Dragon Sword Pavilion is still recruiting? A few freshmen surrounded him. They saw Lin Xian's powerful methods and terrifying battle prowess and yearned for it. Furthermore, after staying in the academy for a period of time, they would join a society. Instead of going to those big societies to be a lackey, it would be better to follow a new society like the Dragon Sword Pavilion. The Dragon Sword Pavilion has just been established, so we do need a lot of manpower. However, we only accept brave warriors. We don't need cowards. Lin Xian said in a deep voice. If you are willing to take risks, willing to fight, and like challenges, then you are welcome to join the Dragon Sword Pavilion. Lin Xian said. I have the confidence to lead you to the peak, and let you feel the feeling of looking down on the world from the clouds. This process will definitely be difficult. For example, once you join, you will face the threat of the greed gang. Please consider it carefully. Of course, as long as I'm here. I won't let anyone from the Dragon Sword Pavilion be bullied. Lin Xian's words were very truthful, without any exaggeration. He spoke of the advantages and disadvantages of the Dragon Sword Pavilion. This would scare off a portion of the people, but it would also eliminate the unsuitable weaklings for the Dragon Sword Pavilion. I'll join too. After some consideration, many people decided to join the Dragon Sword Pavilion. It was for no other reason than Lin Xian's monstrous strength and talent alone. It was worth it for them to risk it all. These people weren't weaklings. To be able to enter the Immortal Martial Academy, they were all people with extraordinary talent and strength. They had a feeling that Lin Xian could soar into the sky. And at that time, the Dragon Sword Pavilion might even become a colossus within the Immortal Martial Academy. Alright, since we've joined, we're all brothers. Lin Xian smiled. Wang Li, make the arrangements. After that, Lin Xian handed these matters over to Wang Li and the others, while he himself formulated a set of rules for the Dragon Sword Pavilion. A total of more than 20 people joined, and the Dragon Sword Pavilion's members increased again, reaching 32 people. Of these 32 people, 13 had reached the Venerable Realm, and the rest were half-step Venerable Realm. Although they weren't much in the Immortal Martial Academy, in the outside world, they were definitely a terrifying group of people. After entering the Dragon Sword Pavilion, we're all brothers. If there's something for me, there's also something for you. Lin Xian said in a clear voice. I guarantee that you'll have a lot of cultivation techniques, pills, and treasures in the future, and they'll all be of the best quality. Of course, the Dragon Sword Pavilion also has its own rules. Firstly, no betrayal. Secondly, no killing of fellow disciples. No bullying of the weak. No. Lin Xian set a total of 10 rules, and these 10 rules became the iron rules of the Dragon Sword Pavilion. No one was to challenge them. The 32 youths looked at Lin Xian, feeling agitated. Every time Lin Xian said a rule, they shouted loudly. This was a group of hot-blooded youths. They relied on their hot-bloodedness and trust in Lin Xian to join the Dragon Sword Pavilion. However, they did not expect that Lin Xian would be so powerful, allowing the Dragon Sword Pavilion to soar into the sky. Many years later, when they stood at the peak of the Immortal Martial Academy, and even the peak of the Blood Domain, they could still recall this scene. Their lives were worth it. After settling the 32 people, Lin Xian returned to the courtyard. He had already broken through to the Venerable Realm, and his strength had increased greatly. He had to consider what to do next. It was impossible to raise his cultivation in a short period of time, because it was too difficult to raise his cultivation in the Venerable Realm. Every step was like ascending to the heavens. One had to have enough accumulation and luck in order to break through. Therefore, if he wanted to break through, he had to have enough heavenly materials and earthly treasures. And in the academy, all of this was spirit value points. Other than that, there was also the matter of dragon blood and investigating the heavenly netherbird. Of course, these things could not be rushed. The most important thing at the moment was to deal with the counterattack of the Greedy Wolf Society and the Freshman Assembly. There was still half a month before the Freshman Assembly. If he could get first place, he would be rewarded with a generous amount of spirit value points. Therefore, Lin Xian would not miss this opportunity. As for dealing with the Greedy Wolf Society, firstly, there was a conflict between them that would be difficult to resolve. Secondly, according to his understanding, the leader of the Greedy Wolf Society was an expert on the Mystic Venerable list. Now that he had broken through to the Venerable Realm, his strength had improved even more. Ordinary second-level Venerables were no match for him. He felt that he had the possibility of breaking through to the Mystic Venerable list, and the leader of the Greedy Wolf Society had become his first target. He had a lot of things to do, and this was just the beginning. Tidy up and recuperate. The next day, Lin Xian asked the 3 Hao brothers to go to Lion Moon City to retrieve the pills. When the 500 bottles of pills were brought back, everyone was stunned. These were all pills that could raise one's cultivation. The members of the Dragon Sword Pavilion were excited. It was not that they had not seen grade 4 pills before, but it was the first time they had seen so many grade 4 pills. These 2 are for the Venerable Realm, and these 3 are for those below the Venerable Realm. Everyone gets 3 bottles. Distribute them first. Whoever increases their cultivation the fastest will get the remaining rewards. Lin Xian said, "This is just the beginning. Soon, you will realize that grade 5 and grade 6 pills are not a problem." "Yes, thank you, Brother Xian." Everyone was excited. After receiving the pills, everyone left and hurriedly went to cultivate. Liang Wei, go to the mission hall and record down some of the large-scale missions. Wang Li, go and pay attention to the recent movements of the Greedy Wolf Society and collect information on their missions. Lin Xian instructed again. "Yes, Brother Xian, are we going to make a move?" Wang Li asked. "There's no rush. Let's wait until everything is clear." Lin Xian said, "Don't they like to rob the weak? This time, we'll let them have a taste of being robbed." Everything was going smoothly. As the leader of the Dragon Sword Pavilion, Lin Xian only needed to grasp the big picture. Chapter 748. Lin Xian released the dark red divine dragon and began to set up the array. Was there a combination array that could be moved and dismantled at any time? Lin Xian asked. "You brat, you really have a lot of requests." The dark red divine dragon curled its lips. "What, you can't do it? Who was the one who bragged about being number 1 in array formation?" "Brat, don't provoke me. Who am I? What array formation don't I know?" The dark red divine dragon said disdainfully. "Of course I have this kind of array formation, but it's very troublesome." "I'm not afraid of trouble. I have time," Lin Xian said. "As for the materials, just tell me." Next, the dark red divine dragon asked for a lot of things. Fortunately, Lin Xian killed a lot of supremacies, especially 2 Tion's storage ring. It's very rich. Therefore, he quickly gathered the things that the dark red divine dragon needed. Next, the dark red divine dragon began to inscribe the array, while Lin Xian cultivated in silence. During this time, Morong Qingqing came once. She stared at Lin Xian with a smile. "I heard that you made a big splash again." "No way, I just taught a few despicable fellows a lesson." "How's your mission?" Lin Xian asked. "It's very smooth. I've obtained a lot of spiritual value points. Soon, I'll be able to gather all the spiritual herbs. When the time comes, you have to refine pills for me." "Don't worry, no problem." Morong Qingqing left in satisfaction. She did not forget her agreement with Lin Xian, so she worked hard to cultivate and strive to enter the mysterious sovereign board. 2 days later, Wang Li and Liang Wei had investigated thoroughly. "Brother Xian, there are quite a few large-scale missions. I've chosen a few from them, and there are 3 that are below 3 stars. Brother Xian, I've heard about the Greedy Wolf Gang's recent actions. Are there any missions that the Greedy Wolf Gang is going to do soon?" Lin Xian asked. "They've recently occupied a place in the Blood Forest. It seems like they're plotting something," Wang Li said. "Oh, there's such a thing." Lin Xian's interest was piqued. He decided to take a look. At this time, the dark red divine dragon had finished inscribing the array formation. It was a combination type array called the 12 Azure Cloud Arrays. It was formed by 12 individual small formations. It could be combined to form a super defensive formation, or it could be used as a defensive formation on its own. Lin Xian set up the 12 formations of green cloud around the courtyard, together with the courtyards of the other disciples of Dragon Sword Pavilion. They formed a super defensive formation. Within this range, they were extremely safe. Even a second heaven venerable would not be able to break through. This freshman area became their temporary stronghold. When they moved away in the future, they could leave the clear sky array at any time, and it would be very convenient. "How is it, kid? Am I powerful? Do you really worship me?" The dark red dragon was pleased with itself. "Not bad, you deserve a reward." Lin Xian laughed. "I'll take you to have some fun." "Have some fun?" The dark red dragon was intrigued. Then, the man and the dragon left the college and flew toward the Blood Forest. According to the directions given by Wang Li, Lin Xian searched carefully and soon found the members of the Greedy Wolf Gang. It was difficult not to discover them. This time, the greedy wolf gang had sent out more than 50 people, and they surrounded a part of the forest. Lin Xian landed and concealed himself. He hid in the distance with the dark red dragon and observed. There seems to be the aura of a demonic beast ahead. The dark red dragon suddenly frowned. It was very powerful. Demonic beast. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He sensed carefully and could capture some residual aura in the air. It was very powerful and carried a violent and fierce aura. It's so powerful. I'm afraid it's a powerful existence even among the demon generals, Lin Xian said in a deep voice. What kind of demonic beast is it? Can you tell? It's too far away, and its aura is very weak. I don't know yet. Hearing this, Lin Xian nodded and began to investigate the situation. He found that there were many natural treasures in the valley ahead, which made people jealous. Could it be that the greedy wolf gang is after those natural treasures? Lin Xian frowned and watched silently. In front of them, a group of people from the greedy wolf gang spread out in a fan-shaped formation. Each of them had a powerful aura, and the weakest among them was a half-step venerable one. The 3 people at the front were the strongest. They were all at the second heaven of the exalted realm. The person in the middle was especially tall and sturdy. His skin was dark red, and he gave off a bloodthirsty aura. Brother Hua, are we going to take action? A young warrior looked at the various rare spirit herbs in the valley, his face full of excitement. Send some brothers. Be careful, the tall and sturdy young man said. Next to him were 2 young men in black and white robes, each with a pitch-black gauntlet. They were the black and white generals of the greedy wolf gang. And the burly young man in the middle was the vice president of the greedy wolf gang, Hua Tianyi. Hua Tianyi waved his hand. Immediately, the black and white generals led the 10 cultivators and carefully rushed towards the valley. Whoosh! Whoosh! Streaks of black shadows dashed out like lightning. They were extremely fast and arrived in the valley in an instant. Heaven crystal fruit. Fuck Fu Luo flower. The group of people looked around excitedly. Those spiritual herbs that were extremely rare in the outside world were actually everywhere at this moment. Attack. These people's faces were full of greed as they quickly pounced forward. At this moment, a strong wind suddenly blew in the valley. Snowflakes started floating in the sky, and the surrounding temperature dropped rapidly. In an instant, the entire valley turned into a world of ice and snow. The cold wind was biting cold. Even a first-rank honorable felt a bone-piercing chill and shivered. What's going on? It's so cold. Fuck, what the hell? Where did the ice and snow come from? These people's faces changed. They stopped and looked around carefully. Hurry up and attack. I don't want to stay here any longer. The black general shouted. He was a little nervous. He felt uneasy, as if something was about to happen. Those cultivators moved again. However, as soon as they moved, a huge figure appeared in the sky full of snow. It was like an ice mountain moving slowly. The ground trembled and swayed continuously. The sky was filled with a terrifying pressure that made people despair. What is that? Not only were the people in the valley shocked, but even those outside the valley were stunned. They all looked ahead in horror. This is... Lin Xian's pupils constricted. The pressure also made him fearful. However, in the next moment, he activated the great dragon sword soul and destroyed the terrifying pressure. At this moment, miserable cries could be heard from the valley. The figure that was like an ice mountain let out an angry roar. Then it spat out a stream of air. Like an ice river, it swept across heaven and earth and rushed toward the members of the greedy wolf gang. Oh no, retreat! The black and white generals were shocked. They turned into 2 streaks of light and escaped from the valley. The rest of the cultivators also wanted to escape, but they were one step too late. The terrifying ice river covered them. In the next moment, everything was frozen. 10 members of the greedy wolf gang turned into ice sculptures and stayed in the valley forever. Phew! The black and white generals escaped from the valley and heaved a sigh of relief. They had almost turned into ice sculptures. The others looked at everything in the valley in horror. Chapter 749. The icy river froze the 10 members of the ravenous wolf gang in an instant. Everyone was stunned by this scene. Lin Xian frowned. He circulated his soul power and looked carefully. In his valley, there was a huge figure moving slowly. From time to time, it would let out a low roar that sounded like muffled thunder. "Brother Hua, what's that?" The members of the ravenous wolf gang trembled in fear. The pressure was too terrifying. They couldn't resist it at all. The black and white generals also returned. Their faces were pale. So many people went out, but only the 2 of them returned. If I'm not wrong, it should be a demonic beast on the Earth list. Hua Tianyi took a deep breath. He stared at the huge figure in the valley, his eyes filled with greed and fear. There were spiritual herbs everywhere in the valley. If they could get it, it would be a great harvest. Moreover, the demonic beast on the Earth list was full of treasures. It was extremely rare. However, he also knew that the demonic beast on the Earth list was terrifying. It wasn't something they could fight against. However, they could try to get the spiritual herbs in the valley. "Let's go." They should go back and discuss countermeasures. Hua Tianyi said in a deep voice. "Seal the news. Don't let anyone know." Then, he took out a purple disc array and poured his spiritual energy into it. It formed an illusion array and covered the scene. If an ordinary person didn't look carefully, they wouldn't notice anything unusual. After doing this, he left with the group. After they left, Lin Xian walked out of the forest. He looked at the valley with flickering eyes. "Are you sure it's the frost snow beast that's ranked 178 on the Earth list?" "Yes, it should be it," the dark red dragon said. "And this frost snow beast seems to be very weak. It's a good opportunity to make a move." "You want to kill it?" Lin Xian asked. "You're thinking too much." The dark red dragon rolled his eyes. "This is a demonic beast on the Earth list. How can it be so easy to kill? With your strength, you won't be able to do anything to it." "What do you mean?" "This frost snow man is very special. Wherever it is, there will be a snow lantern." "Snow lantern?" Lin Xian was confused. "It's a strange spiritual fruit. It looks like a lantern, so it's called a snow lantern. If you obtain it, it will greatly increase your cultivation." Lin Xian's eyes lit up. "Let's go back and discuss this. This time, not only do we have to get the snow lantern, we also have to give the greedy wolf gang a big present." Lin Xian's figure flickered, turning into a sword ray and leaving. Academy Freshman Area. Lin Xian called the people of Dragon Sword Pavilion over. After those people took the pills, their cultivation improved, and some of them even broke through. All of this was given to them by Lin Xian, so they were very excited when Lin Xian called them over. "Older brother Xian, is there a mission?" "That's right, boss, I can't wait any longer." Lin Xian smiled. "There is indeed a mission, and it is related to the Greedy Wolf Gang." "Greedy Wolf Society? It's those damned bastards again." Many people snorted when they heard about the Greedy Wolf Gang. "This is a good opportunity for revenge," Lin Xian said. Then, he told everyone about Frost Valley. When everyone heard that there were countless heavenly materials and earthly treasures in the valley, they all became excited. "Older brother Xian, should we make a move first?" Wang Li asked. Hearing this, the group of people looked at Lin Xian with burning gazes. "No, that frost snow beast is too powerful. It's too dangerous to attack rashly. Why don't we let the greedy wolf gang take the front and attack at the right time?" "Good idea. I've long disliked them. This time, we must trick them to death." Everyone was looking forward to it. While Lin Xian was discussing, the greedy wolf gang was also moving quickly. They gathered their men and prepared to attack. The president of the greedy wolf gang was out on a mission, so this time, the vice president, Hua Tianyi, led the team. Soon they set off once again. When Lin Xian received the news, he also left with his men. Morong Qingqing was also with him. This mission was special, so he needed a strong helper. Although Morong Qingqing was a woman, she was very powerful, so Lin Xian decided to bring her along. Moreover, after hearing about the snow lantern, Morong Qingqing was also moved. That thing was also important to her. The group of people did not immediately follow. Instead, they set off after the greedy wolf gang had left. Lin Xian already knew the location of Frost Valley, so there was no need to rush. They were careful along the way, and finally arrived at the periphery of Frost Valley. From afar, they could see that the valley was full of vegetation, birds, and flowers. There was no frost at all. While everyone was puzzled, the greedy wolf gang in front of them suddenly tried to enter the valley. In the next moment, a low voice sounded. Then, wind and snow fell from the sky, and the entire valley instantly became a world of ice and snow. Everyone was stunned. It was the first time they had seen such a magical thing. Is this Frost Valley? It's really magical. Morong Qingcheng's beautiful eyes turned. Suddenly, she exclaimed and covered her mouth with her small hand. The reason for that was because an overlord had appeared in the ravine. Accompanying that overlord was a terrifying oppressive might. That pressure made people's hearts tremble. I've already prepared it. The dark red dragon jumped out and threw out a circular crystal plate with inscriptions on it. Wear this and the pressure will be reduced a lot. Everyone put it on and felt much more comfortable. Brother Dragon, you're too amazing. The students complimented. They had already accepted the existence of the dark red dragon. Moreover, the dragon's methods were too magical. The dark red dragon was satisfied. This is nothing. Follow my spirit, and you'll get great benefits. The snow-white monkey rolled its eyes at the side with a look of disdain. All right, stop fooling around. Lin Xian glared at it, then said in a low voice, focus. Well, move at any time. In front, the greedy wolf gang had already moved. Hua Tianyi and two other experts ran toward the frost snow beast, while the others were led by the black and white generals. They quickly rushed toward the valley. They wanted to attract the frost snow beast's attention, so that the others could snatch the treasure. Together with Hua Tianyi was a woman in green, and there was also a burly man with dark skin. The three of them ran toward the frost snow beast, in an attempt to attract its attention. Whoosh! Hua Tianyi took the lead. A saber light tore through the sky and slashed toward the beast. There was a grayish-white flame on the saber light. It was like the ghost fire of the netherworld. Bang! Sizzle! Soon, the saber light landed on the frost snow beast's body. The terrifying saber light could tear through the sky, but it did not cause any damage to the beast's body. When the grayish-white flame touched the frost snow beast's blue ice armor, it emitted a sizzling sound and was quickly extinguished. Although the saber light did not cause any damage, it angered the frost snow beast. It turned around angrily and stared at Hua Tianyi and the others with its huge eyes. The blue light in its eyes danced, causing the temperature to drop again. It was as if the world had turned into an ice cave. Roar! Chapter 750. A blue icicle quickly rushed over, bringing with it a terrifying power of ice. Hua Tianyi and the other two's expressions changed. They didn't dare to take it head-on, and could only dodge it. The three of them turned into streaks of lightning and dashed through the valley, narrowly avoiding the frost snow beast's attack. Then, the three of them waved their hands and threw out 6 pitch-black iron chains that wrapped around the frost snow beast. Swoosh! The black iron chain was as agile as a snake. It quickly wrapped around the frost snow beast's body. Hurry up! Hua Tianyi shouted. Hearing this, the members of the greedy wolf gang moved quickly and ran toward the treasures. Lin Xian frowned when he saw this from afar. Let's go! Lin Xian said in a low voice. Let's sneak into the valley first. Be careful, don't attack first. Yes. The group responded and quickly followed Lin Xian. They had the crystal inscriptions given to them by the dark red divine dragon that could resist the pressure of heaven and earth. Hence, it was much easier for them to move. The scene was very chaotic. Lin Xian and the rest moved quickly, while the members of the greedy wolf gang were fighting for the treasures. Hence, no one noticed the situation at the entrance of the valley. Lin Xian and the rest quickly flew in. As soon as they entered the valley, the temperature dropped. The cold wind was bone-chilling and made them tremble. Looking at the treasures and spiritual herbs in the distance, everyone's eyes were burning with passion. However, they didn't act rashly. As they went deeper, the wind and snow became even colder, as if it was going to freeze everything in the world. Angry roars could be heard in the air, causing people's blood to churn. Terrifying waves of air exploded and swept across the land, causing people's hearts to tremble. These people's hearts trembled. The demonic beasts on the earth ranking were too terrifying. They weren't something they could fight against. Lin Xian was very calm. He had seen many big scenes. Moreover, this was far from the tyrannical dark red divine dragon when he first saw it. Back then, when the dark red divine dragon was born, its huge body was tens of millions of meters long and filled the entire sky. Its terrifying aura was vast and mighty, and even kings were no match for it. Compared to the dark red divine dragon, the frost snow beast in front of them was much weaker. However, it was not something that ordinary people could contend against. However, Lin Xian was extremely astonished by Hua Tianyi and the others. The 6 black chains in their hands were extremely strange. They were actually able to restrain the frost snow beasts for a short period of time. Could it be a chain made of millennium cold steel? The dark red divine dragon was also surprised. Alright, now hide here and wait for the next move. Lin Xian waved his hand, his expression solemn. He had a bad feeling about this. Sure enough, in the next moment, the frost snow beast exploded. It roared angrily, and a cold light blossomed from its body, spreading in all directions. Wherever the cold wind passed, everything would turn into ice. It was extremely terrifying. Those who went to snatch the heavenly treasures were even more unlucky. Icicles rose from the ground one after another. They were incomparably sharp and pierced towards everyone. If they were not careful, they would be injured. There was even one person who was directly pierced through. For a moment, all kinds of screams rang out. The people from the Dragon Sword Pavilion hid in the shadows and watched in fear. Fortunately, they did not act rashly just now. Otherwise, they would have ended up in a miserable state. Brother Xian, what should we do now? Wang Li asked. Do you remember the formation that I gave you before? Later, you guys will form the formation and trap all the people from the Greedy Wolf Gang. As for collecting the heavenly treasures, leave it to Little White. Hearing this, the snow-white little monkey hugged the small bowl, and its big eyes narrowed into crescents. Murong and I will go to another place. You guys have to be careful later, Lin Xian said. Everyone nodded, indicating that they understood. After being bullied by the Greedy Wolf Gang for so long, they could finally take revenge. In front of them, the frost snow beast roared angrily again. Hua Tianyi and the other 2 attacked again. The black chains in their hands rattled and emitted a cold light. Like an angry dragon, they entangled the frost snow beast again. This frost snow beast is very weak. Let's attack with all our strength and trap it again. Hua Tianyi shouted. The green-clothed lady and the tan man nodded. The 3 of them attacked together, forming a terrifying energy. With the help of the 1,000-year cold iron chain, they fought against the frost snow beast. The frost snow beast was pinned down once more. Lin Xian saw that it was about time. He ordered the Dragon Sword Pavilion to prepare the array formation while he, Morong Qingqing, and the dark red divine dragon headed deeper in. Whoosh! Whoosh! Dozens of silhouettes moved quickly, running along the edge, forming a large formation. Then, these people released their spiritual energy to activate the formation and surround the Greedy Wolf Gang. What's going on? The members of the Greedy Wolf Gang had originally obtained a very good opportunity to snatch the heaven and earth treasure, but they discovered that their surroundings had changed drastically. This is an illusion array? Someone exclaimed. We're surrounded. What should we do? Everyone looked at the black and white generals. Split into 2 teams. One team will continue to snatch the spiritual herbs, while the other team will attack the formation. The black and white generals cried out in a low voice, after which the 2 of them split up. Whong, whoosh. However, something even stranger happened. The spiritual herbs and fruits in front of them disappeared without a trace. Who is it? How dare you provoke the Greedy Wolf Gang? You're dead meat. Everyone roared and looked around, but they could not find anyone. On the other side, the people attacking the formation also returned without success. They could not break it at all. We've been tricked. The black and white generals' faces darkened. It had always been the Greedy Wolf Gang who tricked others. No one had ever dared to do anything to them. Attack with all your might. We can't be trapped here. The 2 of them roared crazily. The situation was very dangerous now. If the frost snow beast went crazy and attacked them, they would be dead meat. The black general attacked while the white general collected the spiritual herbs. The two of them were second-level honorables, and were very powerful. They were much stronger than the rest, so their attacks were very effective. In a short time, the white general managed to snatch 3 spiritual herbs. However, the 4th spiritual herb was snatched away by a white light. The white general snorted and attacked mercilessly. However, the other party was too fast, and he could not hit him. The black general took out 2 terrifying black palms, and held them up to the sky. The palms were pitch black and extremely terrifying. They were like demonic mountains as they blasted towards the sky. However, the people of the Dragon Sword Pavilion did not fight back. They all dodged to the side. All they needed to do was to trap these people. In the outside world, the little white monkey hugged the small bowl. The spiritual herbs around it kept increasing. The little thing narrowed its eyes and looked intoxicated. In a short time, everyone used the illusion formation to trap the people of the greedy wolf gang. What's going on? In the distance, Hua Tianyi and the other 2 also noticed the abnormality. ***, there are still people. Who are they? How did they get in? The 3 of them looked gloomy. Let's not care so much. Just kill them. Hua Tianyi's face was gloomy. Then he waved his hand and a huge palm appeared. There was a grayish-white flame on the palm. It was extremely demonic and quickly blasted downwards. Chapter 751. Hua Tianyi's terrifying palm attack enveloped the people of Dragon Sword Pavilion. Disperse! Wang Li shouted. Immediately the group of people retreated. Boom! The terrifying palm attack missed, and the people of Dragon Sword Pavilion gathered again. Damn it, how dare you fight back? The 3 Hao brothers were furious. Brothers, beat him up. Immediately, the disciples of Dragon Sword Pavilion attacked the people of Ravenous Wolf Gang in the illusion array. In a situation where they had the absolute advantage, the people of Dragon Sword Pavilion fought very happily. On the other side, Lin Xian, Murong Qingcheng, and the dark red dragon quietly entered the depths of the valley. They did not alert anyone. Under the dark red dragon's array, even the frost snow beast was fooled. Haha, snow lanterns, I'm coming. The dark red dragon was excited. The nest of the frost snow beasts was right in front of them. The 3 of them entered and searched quickly. Finally, they found the snow lanterns mentioned by the dark red dragon. They were snow white and shaped like lanterns. They were the size of a fist. There were 5 of them, and Lin Xian took all of them. However, he only took the fruits and did not touch the plants. With the snow lanterns in hand, Lin Xian gave 1 each to Murong Qingcheng and the dark red dragon. Then, he put the remaining 3 into his storage ring. And there's something inside. Suddenly he frowned and walked in. This is... In the next moment he was stunned. In the depths of the cave there were 3 azure blue eggs. They were the size of a millstone. Damn good stuff. If I eat it, I can recover my origin. The dark red dragon exclaimed, saliva dripping down. As if feeling the threat of the dark red dragon, the 3 eggs trembled slightly. In the next moment an angry roar was heard. It was as if thunder had descended from the 9 heavens. It was extremely terrifying. Not good, the frost snow beast found out. Let's go. Lin Xian's expression changed. He did not care about anything else. He pulled Murong Qingcheng and ran. The dark red dragon also cursed in a low voice. It looked at the 3 azure blue pills unwillingly and quickly left. These 3 eggs had already gained intelligence. He had no chance to steal them. If he tried to steal them by force, he would most likely be targeted by the frost snow beast. With his current strength, he was completely unable to defeat that ice beast. Damn it, you 3 little things are lucky. The dark red divine dragon transformed into a streak of red light and quickly escaped from the cave. On the other side, the frost snow beast sensed its child's cry for help. It was enraged. As if it had gone mad, its aura surged, and it broke the 6,000-year cold iron chains. Bang! A powerful force of wind and snow gushed out, blowing Hua Tianyi and the other 2 away. Damn it, why did this guy suddenly go crazy? The green-clothed woman's face turned pale. Hua Tianyi's expression didn't look good either. They didn't manage to snatch many spiritual herbs, and the frost beast here went crazy again. They were really unlucky. Boom! Boom! On the ground, huge icicles pierced out densely packed. There were at least 1,000 icicles. It was a terrifying sight. In the sky, the river of ice flowed in reverse, and the cold air was oppressive, enveloping the surroundings. Roar! The frost snow beast roared angrily and spat out ice and frost, causing the entire valley to freeze. Not good, this beast has really gone crazy. Hua Tianyi and the other two's expressions changed drastically, and they turned to leave. However, in the next moment, the void fluctuated, and a terrifying sword chi slashed over. It flashed like a waterfall with a sharp aura, causing people's hearts to tremble. In an instant it struck Hua Tianyi. Hua Tianyi didn't expect a sneak attack at this time, so by the time he reacted, the sword chi had already slashed his body. He could only face it head-on. However, the sword chi was too powerful and sent him flying. Bang! Bang! Not only Hua Tianyi, but the other two members of the Greedy Wolf gang were also attacked and sent flying. Moreover, that direction happened to be where the frost snow beast was. Damn it, who is it? Hua Tianyi went crazy. He used all his strength to stop his body, and dodged the frost snow beast's attack with difficulty. He looked around angrily, but he only saw 3 afterimages disappearing in the sky. The ones who launched the sneak attack were Lin Xian and the others. They didn't stop, and directly met up with the people from the Dragon Sword Pavilion. Brother Xian, Wang Li and the others saw Lin Xian, and cheered in surprise. Let's go leave the valley, Lin Xian said. Yes. No one delayed, and they all moved quickly. They had all heard the terrifying sound just now. If it wasn't for the fact that Lin Xian hadn't returned yet, they would have left long ago. At this moment, Lin Xian had returned and almost all the spirit herbs had been picked. Moreover, they had beaten up the people from the Greedy Wolf gang, and had no reason to stay. Let's go! More than 30 people soared into the sky, turned into rays of light, and left the valley. Not long after Lin Xian left, Hua Tianyi and the other two arrived. Brother Hua, the people from the Greedy Wolf gang wailed. They were all covered in wounds and looked very miserable. What was even more unfortunate was that they didn't manage to snatch many spirit herbs. This time, it could be said that they had lost. Brother Hua, it's that kid Lin Xian. Yes, it's the people from the Dragon Sword Pavilion. We've been tricked. The faces of the people from the Greedy Wolf gang turned green. Let's leave this place first. Hua Tianyi's eyes were gloomy. His heart was filled with killing intent, but he had to leave first. Roar! Behind them, the frost snow beast ran over. Balls of ice fell and filled the entire sky. Let's go! The people from the Greedy Wolf gang were terrified and ran for their lives. Like stray dogs, they screamed and ran away from the valley. Lin Xian and the others came out of the valley and ran all the way back to the academy. Then, they gathered together and activated the 12 formations of Azure Cloud to form a solid defense. Then, they began to distribute the spirit herbs. First there were the snow lanterns. They were given to Morong Qingcheng and the dark red divine dragon. Lin Xian still had 3 left. He kept one for himself, and gave one to the snow-white little monkey. He planned to make the remaining one into spirit wine, and distribute it to the people from the Dragon Sword Pavilion. As for the spirit herbs, the snow-white little monkey had snatched more than 50 stalks, which was enough for everyone. This was a great harvest. Wang Li and the others were in a good mood. Hee, not only did we get the spirit herbs and spirit wine, but more importantly, we taught the Greedy Wolf gang a lesson. Those guys are probably miserable now. How can they not be miserable? If it were me, I would definitely be sullen. But the more miserable they are, the happier I am. Everyone laughed. At this moment, angry voices suddenly came from the sky. Lin Xian, get out here. Dragon Sword Pavilion, come out and die. The voice was like thunder, shaking the surroundings, and attracting the attention of the other students. Hua Tianyi led more than 30 people and stood in the sky. His body was surging with killing intent, as if he wanted to eat people. Not only that, these people were all injured, and looked to be in a sorry state. What's going on? Aren't these people from the Greedy Wolf gang? Why are they here again? I heard that they're here to find Lin Xian. Could it be that they're here for revenge? That shouldn't be the case. Even if they're taking revenge, they can't be in such a sorry state. Could it be that it's not because of last time, but because something happened? Everyone guessed and were shocked. Below, Lin Xian and the others heard the voice of the greedy wolf gang and immediately sneered. These bastards came quite quickly. Brother Xian, what should we do? Everyone asked. Chapter 752. Lin Xian led the Dragon Sword Pavilion out, quickly attracting the attention of the crowd. It can't be, he still dares to come out? Isn't he courting death? Yeah, the greedy wolf gang sent over 30 people this time. I'm afraid no one can contend against them, right? Everyone shook their heads. In the sky, Hua Tianyi and the rest were filled with killing intent when they saw Lin Xian coming out. Brat. No one can save you if you dare to target the greedy wolf gang. Do you believe that today will be the day you die? Hua Tianyi's gaze was cold as well. He said in a stern voice, hand over those things, then kneel down and apologize. Perhaps this matter can be resolved. Otherwise, you can just wait to be tortured. I dare to guarantee that from today onwards, there will be no place for you in the Immortal Martial Academy. And who is this? So arrogant? How sneered? I don't know, looks like a beggar. Lying through your teeth. Is that a beggar? Beggars are much cleaner than them. I think it's more like a stray dog. Ha 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 ha. The Dragon Sword Pavilion disciples roared with laughter. Lin Xian was also smiling as he looked at the sky. Apologize? What a joke. He didn't think that the other party would be so kind as to solve the problem with an apology. Moreover, only one of them could exist between him and the greedy wolf gang. Hearing the words of the Dragon Sword Pavilion, the surrounding students were shocked. This was a naked provocation. No, this was a slap in the face in front of everyone. How could the greedy wolf gang tolerate this? As expected, before the laughter of the Dragon Sword Pavilion faded, the greedy wolf gang was already enraged. Courting death. The greedy wolf gang was enraged. They waved their palms and slapped downwards. Boom! The huge palm of light was blocked in midair and collided with a light screen, causing a rumbling sound. Then the palm of light was reflected back. It was blocked. The greedy wolf gang was stunned. Then their faces turned even gloomier. Boom! 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 Another person attacked. Terrifying beams of light descended, rushing towards Lin Xian and the rest. However, no one was able to pass through the light screen. All of them were blocked. What? How is this possible? What kind of formation is this? Why is it so powerful? Everyone was dumbstruck. That was the attack of more than 10 experts. Yet it actually didn't break through. This defense was too terrifying. What do a bunch of country bumpkins know? Below, the dark red divine dragon was disdainful. The 12 formations of Azure Cloud was a famous ancient formation. Moreover, it was personally set up by it, so its power was extremely strong. This was something that Lin Xian had specifically requested. It was impossible for these people to break it. Damn it! What kind of formation is this? Why is it so evil? The greedy wolf gang members' expressions turned ugly when they saw that the light screen was still intact. Brat, come out if you dare! The members of the greedy wolf gang shouted angrily. Trash! Come in if you have the ability. This young master will crush you to death with one hand. The people from Dragon Sword Pavilion sneered. They would not lose in a war of words. What Dragon Sword Pavilion? So it's just a bunch of useless cowards, who don't even dare to step out of their doors. Io, how are the greedy wolves doing? Isn't it just that they came to the academy a few years earlier? They can't beat the established factions, and can only bully the freshmen. If I were you, I would have killed myself long ago. That's right. What kind of ability is bullying the freshmen? If you have the ability, wait for this young master to cultivate for a few years, and destroy you in minutes. Wang Li and the others sneered. Lin Xian, this is your Dragon Sword Pavilion? You don't even have the courage to fight, so what kind of club are you forming? Hua Tianyi said coldly. I think you're mistaken. Lin Xian laughed. We're not hiding. Instead, we're standing here openly. It's your own fault for not being able to enter. How can you blame others? Senior, I only want to ask one thing. Have you wasted so many years of cultivation on dogs? Hearing Lin Xian's arrogant and domineering words, the surrounding students could not help but laugh. This guy really knew how to insult others. You're courting death. Hua Tianyi's pupil shrank as he quickly threw out a punch. Bang! An earth-shattering sound rang out as ripples appeared on the defensive light screen. However, it gradually calmed down and did not shatter. It's blocked. Seeing that his attack was ineffective, Hua Tianyi's face turned ugly. No one dared to underestimate him. Anyone who dared to underestimate him had already been trampled under his feet. Now Lin Xian had actually slapped his face in front of everyone. This was something he could not tolerate. If it was any other time, he would have already trampled Lin Xian under his feet. However, that damned formation had stopped everything, so he could only watch helplessly. Young Master Hua, we're here to help you. The green-clothed girl and the dark-skinned man also walked forward and stood side by side with Hua Tianyi. The three experts attacked together. Immediately, the surrounding people exclaimed. They all thought that Lin Xian was dead for sure this time. Even the people from the Dragon Sword Pavilion were worried. However, Lin Xian was still smiling as he looked at the sky. He was not nervous at all. This was a formation set up by the dark red divine dragon. Others might not know how powerful it was, but he knew. Not to mention Hua Tianyi, and the other two. Even a third sky supremacy might not be able to break it. Therefore, he was not nervous at all. Laughing, I'll make you lie at my feet like a dog in a while. Hua Tianyi's eyes were filled with killing intent. Attack! With a low shout, the three of them attacked together. Their terrifying attacks shook the surroundings, shocking everyone. However, the defensive light barrier still did not break. How is this possible? Hua Tianyi was shocked. His eyes were filled with disbelief. The three of them were second sky supremacies. When the three of them joined forces, their power was absolutely terrifying. However, they could not break the defensive light barrier. What kind of formation was this? Not only Hua Tianyi, but everyone was also very confused. In particular, the other freshmen were very envious. This was the safest defense base. Looks like your strength is not as good as your mouth. Lin Xian shrugged. Take your time. I'm going to cultivate. After saying that, he turned around and left. The people from the Dragon Sword Pavilion also looked at the sky mockingly. Then they all raised their middle fingers. You want to break the formation? In your next life, go back. The group of people mocked and left as well. Damn it, damn it. Hua Tianyi was so angry that he went crazy. He had a lot of skills, but he could not use them. I don't believe that you will hide in there for the rest of your lives. All of you listen up. Send people to take turns to monitor them. As long as they dare to come out, immediately report to me. Hua Tianyi said with hatred. Then, he waved his sleeve and quickly left. The other members of the Greedy Wolf Gang also left. They really did not have the face to stay here. Only 2 disciples were left to monitor the movements of Lin Xian and the others. Brother Xian, we are being monitored. It seems that the other party is not willing to let this go. Wang Li was a little worried. Monitoring? Then let them monitor us. Lin Xian sneered. Then what should we do? Cultivate. All of you go back and cultivate. Lin Xian said in a deep voice. From now on, you are not allowed to go anywhere. Stay here and cultivate until the freshman assembly begins. Freshman assembly, everyone's eyes lit up and then they all laughed. Chapter 753. In the following days, Lin Xian and the rest didn't go out. Instead, they focused on cultivating and preparing for the freshman competition. A single snow lantern allowed Lin Xian's cultivation to improve and consolidate. Now, the blood and qi in his body were like an ocean, surging and roaring with endless power. Other than that, he mainly comprehended the 4 seasons sword technique and concocted some pills in his spare time. Soon, over 10 days had passed and the freshman competition was getting closer. Lin Xian gathered everyone and said in a deep voice, "Tomorrow is the freshman competition. I don't expect you to get first place, but I want you to do your best to get a satisfactory ranking. Now, not only are you representing yourselves, you are also representing the Dragon Sword Pavilion. This time, let's show them the glory of our Dragon Sword Pavilion. Yes, the members of the Dragon Sword Pavilion shouted with excitement. All right, go back and relax and prepare for tomorrow's competition. On the second day, when the sun had just risen, the entire Immortal Martial Academy was in an uproar. Countless freshmen were excited and rubbed their fists, wanting to show off their abilities. They had gone through countless difficulties and finally entered the Immortal Martial Academy, winning the envy of the outside world. However, after entering the Immortal Martial Academy, everything had to start from scratch. They were the lowest level of freshmen and needed a competition to prove themselves. And the freshman competition was undoubtedly the best stage. Every year's freshman competition would receive special attention, because these fresh blood could soar into the sky in the future. They wanted to use this competition to distinguish who was the real dragon. Lin Xian pushed open the door and walked out of the courtyard. He happened to see Morong Qingcheng. The two of them smiled and gathered together. Soon after, the members of the Dragon Sword Pavilion also gathered together. This time, they were dressed in black with a dragon-shaped sword embroidered on their sleeves. Each of them was in high spirits and looked extraordinary. Not only them, but all the students in the first freshman area were excited and couldn't wait to start the competition. All right, we can temporarily remove the defensive formation. At this time, the ravenous wolf gang won't dare to find trouble, Lin Xian said with a smile. Whoosh! Soon a cloud flew over from afar. It was like purple chi coming from the east, carrying a trace of mystery and dominance. Who? In an instant, the purple mist appeared above the freshman area. The mist rolled and condensed into a human figure. It was the middle-aged instructor from before, the square-faced middle-aged man, Instructor Gua. Little guys, are you ready? If you're ready, follow me. After saying that, he turned around and flew into the distance. Whoosh! Whoosh! Countless new students followed behind the middle-aged man. Go! Lin Xian took a deep breath and waved his hand. Then, he led the Dragon Sword Pavilion's people into the air as well. Their bodies were like divine rainbows, flying through the air like a meteor shower. It was very beautiful. Under the lead of the middle-aged man, they flew towards the northern region of the Immortal Martial Academy. At the same time, countless figures rose up from the other freshman areas, transforming into streams of light and flying away. The scene was spectacular and shocking. All the way to the north, everyone's speed was very fast, but they still flew for half an incense stick's worth of time before gradually slowing down. In front of them, there were mountains and a vast forest that stretched as far as the eye could see. Not far away, there was a 10,000 feet tall mountain with steep cliffs, giving off a sharp feeling. However, the peak of the mountain was flat, as if it had been cut off by a sword, and a super large platform had appeared. Everyone's foothold was the vast platform. Not long after Lin Xian and the rest landed, there was another fluctuation in the sky. Two rays of light flew over at lightning speed. At first they were the furthest away, but in the blink of an eye, they were above everyone's heads. Along with them, there was a surging spiritual chi, as well as a pressure that was unintentionally released. Every trace of spiritual chi was shocking. Lin Xian raised his head and saw the two people in the sky. The person on the left was an old man with a sage-like demeanor, while the person on the right was a young lady in her 20s. However, her eyes revealed a sense of vicissitudes. The combination of a young appearance and the vicissitudes of life in her eyes could be said to be very strange. However, Lin Xian knew that she should be an expert with a technique to retain her youthful appearance. Although she looked young, her actual age was unknown. She had lived for a few hundred years. The young lady elder swept her gaze below, and the corners of her lips curled up. There are a few good seedlings this time. Looks like there will be a big change in the Mystic Honorable Leaderboard soon. Then, she lowered her head again and said slowly, "The two of us will be hosting the competition this time. You can call me Elder Hua, and this is Elder Yang." "Greetings, elders," the freshmen below shouted in unison. "That's enough." The young lady elder gestured with her hands, and the freshmen below immediately quietened down. Next, I'll talk about the freshman competition. Do you see the mountain peak opposite? There's a golden bell on the mountain peak. Whoever rings it first will be the champion. Mountain peak golden bell? The crowd was stunned. This was a little different from what they had imagined. They had originally thought that it would be a single elimination tournament. They had not expected it to be such a competition. However, it seemed that this competition would not be too difficult. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and looked at the giant mountain in front of him. To be honest, the mountain peak was not close to where they were. However, they could see it clearly because it was too big. The black mountain peak was 10,000 feet tall and pierced through the clouds. It was like a peerless divine sword that pierced through the heavens and the earth. Not only that, the mountain also emitted a different kind of aura. It was like a dormant ancient beast, bringing with it a sense of oppression. Looking at everyone's expression, the young lady Elder Hua chuckled. Let's talk about the rewards. First place, 1 million spiritual value points. Second place, 500 spiritual value points. Third place, 200 spiritual value points. The rest will be calculated in this way. Not only that, the top 3 will also have a chance to enter the Hall of Divinity. That is something left behind by a king. If you're lucky, you might be able to obtain the inheritance. Hall of Divinity, King's inheritance. Hearing this, the crowd below was shocked. Then they were incomparably ecstatic. Many people's eyes turned red like rabbits. This news was too shocking. One must know that a king was the pinnacle existence on this continent. They were the true rulers. The number of kings on this continent could be counted with one hand. And now, they actually had the chance to comprehend the king's statue and obtain the inheritance. This was too rare. Countless people would probably go crazy. As expected of the Immortal Martial Academy, they even have a king's statue. Lin Xian was also incomparably shocked. At the same time, he was even more determined in his heart. He must obtain first place this time. However, he quickly frowned. Such a generous reward, but the competition was so simple. It seemed impossible. He looked at the dense forest below. His eyes flickered as he became vigilant. Chapter 754. Demonic Beasts. Everyone was stunned, but they didn't take it to heart. They were geniuses that did missions all day long. Why would they care about mere demonic beasts? Most likely, his greatest enemy would still be these fellow disciples beside him. Lin Xian frowned again. If there was no reason, Elder Hua wouldn't have said it. Could there be some special demonic beasts here? His eyes flickered, and he decided to pay attention to it. The freshman competition begins now, Elder Hua announced. After that, countless freshmen became excited. They quickly turned into streams of light and flew towards the mountain range. This scene was very spectacular. Perhaps only the Immortal Martial Academy could see it. Looking at the departing backs of the freshmen, the sage-like old man stroked his beard and said, "Seems like not many of them paid attention to your warning. So what? I've already reminded them. If they don't take it to heart, then they can't blame me." Elder Hua curled his lips. "But I'm looking forward to seeing these freshmen in a sorry state." The other instructors smiled bitterly. If you don't explain it clearly, how would the freshmen know? Of course, they only thought about it in their hearts. They wouldn't say it out loud. Countless freshmen rushed towards the forest as fast as lightning, causing a huge commotion. Roar! 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 Following the invasion of the freshmen, angry roars came from the forest. The demonic beasts that lived in the forest were furious. They were very dissatisfied with these invaders. Many people snorted and attacked mercilessly. Terrifying and gorgeous energy surged out, sending the nearby demonic beasts flying. They were like fierce dragons crossing the river, extremely powerful. However, this angered the demonic beasts in the forest even more. Groups of demonic beasts formed into groups and pounced towards the freshmen. In an instant, a great battle broke out. Blade light and sword shadows. Vast spiritual energy surged and surged. On the opposite side, the demonic beasts were enraged. Their roars shook the sky as they pounced madly. It was as if two torrents had collided with each other. Shocking energy fluctuations surged out in all directions like tidewater. The entire forest became restless. The situation was very chaotic. Not only did the freshmen have to fight with the demonic beasts, they also had to be wary of the students around them. After all, everyone was an opponent. At this time, the role of a society was displayed. Lin Xian led the Dragon Sword Pavilion and charged quickly. Like a sharp knife, he pierced into the demonic beast army. Wherever he passed, no one could stop him. These people were originally experts, and they were all from the same organization. When they worked together, the power they produced was very strong. Lin Xian did not even draw his sword. Instead, he clasped his fingers together, and a stream of sword chi flew out from between his fingers, slashing forward. With a slash of his sword, dozens of demonic beasts in front of him were sliced in half. Their corpses fell to the ground, and were trampled into meat paste by the demonic beasts behind. Murong Qingcheng's white robes fluttered in the wind like a fairy descending from the heavens. Every time she struck out, the wind from her palms would be so fierce that it created a vacuum in front of her. With the two of them taking the lead, the other party's speed increased greatly. The demonic beasts on both sides were cleaned up by the other members of the Dragon Sword Pavilion. They had consumed quite a number of medicinal pills. In addition, they had been cultivating diligently during this period of time. Their strength had greatly increased compared to when they had entered the academy. These demonic beasts were nothing to worry about. Seeing that Lin Xian's Dragon Sword Pavilion had taken the lead, the scattered students also began to gather together to fight against the demonic beasts. Among them, there were a few groups that were very powerful. They did not seem to be weaker than Lin Xian. Lin Xian spread out his soul force, and discovered that those groups were led by some experts. It seemed that he was not the only one who had formed a club. The others were also prepared. Follow closely, I'm going to speed up, Lin Xian said in a deep voice. Then the spirit energy in his body surged, and his speed increased once again. The sword light at his fingertips became even sharper. Spring rain silk, countless sword chi surged like spring rain, penetrating all openings and shooting forward quickly, piercing through the demonic beasts in front of them. The other groups were not to be outdone. They quickly charged forward, trying to shake off the others. For a moment, a tense atmosphere filled the forest. Not long after, they arrived at the depths of the forest. The demonic beasts here were even more powerful. There were even demonic generals. Those were demonic beasts comparable to martial supremacies. Moreover, they had gained intelligence, and could control demonic beasts. They brought great trouble to the new students. Lin Xian, Murong Qingcheng, and the others were powerful, and were not affected much. However, the members of the Dragon Sword Pavilion behind them could not keep up. After all, they were only ordinary geniuses. The stronger ones had only reached the first level of martial supremacy. Compared to Lin Xian, there was still a huge gap. Brother Xian, don't worry about us. You guys go first. You must get first place. Dragon Sword Pavilion mighty. Those people looked at Lin Xian with excited expressions. Alright, be careful, Lin Xian said in a deep voice. Then he turned around and his eyes bloomed. The aura on his body became even sharper, as if a peerless divine sword was quickly awakening. Boom! With a stomp of his foot, he was like a divine sword that had been unsheathed. He rushed forward quickly, and wherever he passed the void trembled. Any demonic beast that was touched by the sword light instantly turned into a bloody mist. Not a single one was spared. It was too spiritual. Nothing could stop it. There was even a demonic general who tried to stop it, but it was pierced through the chest. Wherever Lin Xian passed, a vacuum appeared. Beside him, Murong Qingqing had a smile on her face. She was like a fairy as she accompanied him. They were not the only ones. The other teams also adopted the same method. Those powerful warriors left the team, and began to travel alone. Lin Xian saw several powerful figures rushing out towards the huge mountain. He no longer held back and set off with Murong Qingcheng. The two of them were like heaven-shaking rainbows. After killing their way out, they finally rushed out of the horde of demonic beasts, and arrived at the foot of the huge mountain. From afar, they only felt that the black mountain was so tall that they couldn't see the top. Now that they were at the foot of the mountain, they were even more shocked by the aura. That sentence was like a primordial beast, causing him to tremble. Compared to him, those new students were even inferior to ants. However, these insignificant new students wanted to conquer this mountain. Go! Lin Xian took the lead and rushed in. Roar! A purple python with a pair of wings on its back pounced on Lin Xian when it saw him soar into the air. A black shadow flashed and pounced on Lin Xian. Scram! Lin Xian roared and punched out with his right fist. On his golden fist, electric arcs flashed and intertwined to form a dragon head, blasting the purple python apart. A bloody mist sprayed out as the huge corpse fell, smashing a deep hole in the ground. Those who rushed over from behind trembled when they saw this scene. It was too strong. It was practically a humanoid beast. However, right after the giant python fell to the ground and died, several cold glints suddenly lit up and quickly pierced towards Lin Xian. Speed, timing, everything was controlled well. It was obvious that they were experts. Lin Xian frowned. He did not expect that someone would dare to assassinate him. Spirit energy surged on his body and turned into countless sword shadows that swept in all directions. Ding! Ding! Chapter 755. Several figures retreated from the void and landed on the mountain path. At the same time, more than 10 martial artists surrounded Lin Xian. These people had cold expressions and powerful auras. They were all in the honorable realm. There was a red sun on their chests that seemed to be rising. They are Zhou's men. They are from the Rising Sun Hall. Morong Qingqing said from the side. Zhou Su. Lin Xian frowned slightly. He remembered that there was a fierce young man who had confronted him in the True Spirit Hall. He had almost forgotten about it. He did not expect the other party to make a move at this time. Kid, if you know what's good for you, stay where you are. The 10 figures around him snorted and stepped out at the same time. Their auras erupted and swept out in all directions like waves. These people were all in the honorable realm. This was too terrifying. Even a level 2 honorable realm would not be able to withstand the joint forces of 10 level 1 honorables. And now these people had joined forces to stop Lin Xian. The freshmen who had rushed over were also shocked. They did not stay and left quickly. They did not want to be implicated and did not want to stand out. Hence they left very quickly. Kid, the first place of the freshman competition belongs to our brother Su. Don't even think about it. One of the young martial artists snorted. Brother Su. Lin Xian sneered. If he was so confident, he wouldn't have stopped me. Brother Su doesn't take you seriously. He just wants to teach you a lesson this time. Attack! The young man shouted coldly. Then the surrounding figures rushed out quickly. Attack! Lin Xian said to Morong Qingqing who was beside him. Then, their auras erupted and blasted out in all directions. Morong Qingqing waved her hands and enveloped the 5 people nearby. Lin Xian also pulled out the wind shadow sword, and a terrifying sword radiance swept out in all directions. A great battle broke out. Terrifying spiritual energy surged and formed a special place thousands of miles away. The freshmen and demonic beasts did not dare to come close. The sword radiance was like the wind, and the swift spiritual energy arrived in front of a martial artist in an instant. Condense! The martial artist condensed armor and punched out with both fists. Crack crack. However, he had underestimated Lin Xian's sword light. In an instant, it had cut through his defense and left a sword mark on his body. If he hadn't shown mercy, this sword strike would have been enough to take his life. Lin Xian had already entered the honorable realm and become a true honorable realm. His strength had already reached the 2nd level of the honorable realm. Therefore, he did not feel any pressure when facing these first-rank venerables. As the 4 swords pierced out, the 4 first-level venerables were injured and retreated. Their eyes were filled with fear, and they did not dare to continue fighting. Only the young man who spoke earlier was left in the field. The young man's name was Yin Feng. He was very powerful, and had already reached the peak of the 1st level of Venerable Realm. This time, he had received Zhou's orders to stop Lin Xian. He had a life-saving 1st-level Venerable in his hands, so he did not put Lin Xian in his eyes at all. In his opinion, no matter how powerful the other party was, It was impossible for him to be a match for them. But now, in just an instant, the 4 warriors had already fallen, leaving only him. "Humph, brat, I will let you know how powerful I am." Infeng roared and waved his fists. He immediately used his martial soul. 2 balls of light condensed on his fists. 1 ball of green light formed a terrifying storm, while the other ball of brown light was like a rock on the earth. Infeng had actually comprehended 2 attributes. "Taste my double kill fist." Terrifying spiritual energy surged. The 2 attributes carried a terrifying attack and began to surge towards Lin Xian. Double attribute? Lin Xian smiled disdainfully. If the other party was someone else, it might be effective. But against him there was no chance at all. In his hands, he had more than just 2 attributes. Therefore, facing Infeng's attack, Lin Xian was not afraid at all. In the next moment, he waved the wind shadow sword, and a fiery red sword chi surged out. Flames shot out in all directions, and a heat wave surged into the sky. Above the flames, there were golden arcs of lightning circling around. The lightning and fire intersected, and it was terrifying. What the lightning and fire attributes? Infeng's pupil shrank. He did not expect Lin Xian to also have 2 attributes. What was laughable was that he did not know that the lightning and fire attributes were only 2 of Lin Xian's many attributes. If he were to reveal the truth, he would probably faint from fright. The lightning and fire sword chi surged and slashed Infeng's attack away. Then it quickly slammed into his body. Puff! Infeng spat out blood and fell to the ground. His eyes were filled with fear. He did not expect that he would be defeated in one move. At the same time, Morong Qingqing also stopped attacking. Under her feet, 5 first-rank supremacies were wailing in pain. 10 first-rank supremacies were defeated in an instant. The eyelids of the passing freshmen twitched when they saw this scene. "Josu, right? Since you provoked me, don't blame me for being impolite." Lin Xian's voice was cold. He ignored the 10 fellows on the ground and looked at the mountain peak in the distance. Whoosh! Lin Xian and Morong Qingqing left once again. Just as Lin Xian was charging towards the mountain peak, there were also a few powerful figures in other directions. They led the crowd and rushed towards the mountain peak. One of them was tall and straight. His aura was sharp like a sword that could kill. "What, Lin Xian? He's just a clown. The first place of the freshman is mine." Zhou's eyes shone brightly. He had unlimited confidence. Whoosh! In the distance, a shocking blade light lit up and slashed a demonic beast in half. Xiao Li's expression was cold as he rushed towards the mountain peak. "Lin Xian, I look forward to fighting with you." On the other side, Dongfang Fenghuang, Lan Bai, Shen Yaotian, and the others were charging with all their might. The mountain peak was very tall and dangerous. After climbing the mountain path, Lin Xian realized that he could not fly because it was too dangerous. Therefore, he and Morong Qingqing chose to go on the ground. In the forest, a pair of sharp claws appeared and grabbed at the 2 of them. The sword light flashed and destroyed the claws. At this time, dozens of dark green vines quietly approached Lin Xian and Xiao Li like poisonous snakes, waiting for the right time. Whoosh! Suddenly, these vines burst out and quickly wrapped around Lin Xian. The branches had poisonous thorns that could easily kill a venerable martial artist. In an instant, Lin Xian and Morong Qingqing were entangled and quickly pulled to the back. Gulp! 2 huge brown petals suddenly opened like 2 terrifying mouths with sharp teeth on them. They bit at the 2 of them. Humph! Lin Xian snorted. The armor on his body flickered and shattered the vines. At the same time he threw a punch. Terrifying flames intertwined and formed a fire beast that burned the man-eating demonic flower. On the other side, a crystal lotus appeared on Morong Qingqing's body. It was very dreamy and cut the other party in an instant. Then, the 9-petaled lotus danced in the air and formed a terrifying rotating force that shredded all the plants within 100 meters. What a terrifying woman! Lin Xian wiped his sweat and quickly walked up. "We're almost halfway there. Most of the demonic beasts here are at the demon general level," Lin Xian said in a deep voice. "I wonder what terrifying things there are above." Chapter 756. Morong Qingqing was a little worried about Elder Hua's warning. Lin Xian nodded as well. Let's be careful. There might be some powerful beasts up there. The two of them raised their guard and headed up the mountain. Their journey was smooth. Are we worrying too much? Lin Xian shook his head and smiled. Maybe. Morong Qingqing frowned. However, in the next moment, a shocking roar came from afar. It turned into rolling thunder and shook the surroundings. Ripples that could be seen with the naked eye spread out in all directions. Wherever they passed, rocks and trees were broken. This is... Lin Xian and Morong Qingqing were shocked as they looked up in disbelief. They were just starting to doubt Elder Hua's warning when something happened. Save me. Countless screams could be heard as many martial artists escaped from above. Their faces were filled with shock. Boom! 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 The ground trembled as rows of trees fell. A huge black shadow walked in the forest with a terrifying aura. Below, countless martial artists were running for their lives. Lin Xian and Morong Qingqing also retreated to a safe place and looked up. In the forest above, 100-meter-tall giant ape walked upright. Its body was covered in fur, and there was a vertical eye in the middle of its head. It had 8 arms on both sides of its body, and they were constantly waving. Every time they waved, there was a shocking aura. Boom! The 8 arms waved and slapped the martial artists in front of it away. It even created a vacuum in the forest. This is... Lin Xian was shocked. 8-armed demon ape. It was ranked 197th on the Earth board. Morong Qingqing said in a deep voice. No wonder Elder Hua warned us. There is a hidden Earth board demonic beast here. Lin Xian's face darkened. An adult 8-armed demon ape was extremely powerful. It was probably at least a 5th-layer martial honor. Fortunately, the 8-armed demon ape in front of them did not have a member. It was only in its infancy, and its strength was equivalent to a 3rd-layer martial honor. Although it could not fight back, it could still escape. Boom! The 8-armed demon ape waved its arms, and they were like 8 heavenly pillars that shot out in all directions. One of the palms just so happened to be aimed at Lin Xian and Li Qia. Everything near the palm shattered, and a powerful aura enveloped Lin Xian and Morong Qingqing, as if it wanted to crush them. As expected of a demonic beast ranked on the Earth ranking, it's already so strong in its infancy. Lin Xian felt the pressure. Lin Xian's expression changed slightly. He tapped his foot and retreated. Before the palm arrived, the terrifying palm wind had already destroyed everything in the vicinity. Morong Qingqing also retreated. As soon as the two of them left, the Vajra palm fell, cracking the ground, and a bottomless black hole appeared in the center. The strength of the 8-armed demonic ape shocked everyone. Those freshmen who wanted to go over were all blasted down. Many people looked forward with ugly expressions. The road up the mountain had been blocked, so they could only break through. However, when faced with this terrifying 8-armed demon ape, no one had any information. Let's go to the sky. Many people looked at the sky and had a new idea. Suddenly, someone gave it a try. His body flashed, and he turned into a shocking rainbow, rushing into the sky. The 8-armed demon ape was only 100 meters tall. They just had to cross this line of defense. Many people had the same idea, but in the next moment, their expressions changed again. This was because a huge black shadow had appeared in the sky. It was like a dark cloud covering the sky. Within the dark cloud, there was a pair of scarlet rays of light, like 2 suns hanging in the sky. Accompanying it was a terrifying aura. The aura was even stronger than the 8-armed demon apes. This is a demonic beast. Everyone was shocked, and the martial artists in the sky ran for their lives. Boom! A gray aura gushed out and filled the sky, surrounding the few people in the sky. One of them threw out a middle-grade spiritual rank shield, and it turned into a defensive barrier of more than 10 meters in the sky. However, in an instant, it was corroded by the gray mist. Chi-chi! A black hole appeared in the middle of the shield, and it gradually expanded. In the end, the entire shield turned into a pool of molten iron. What? How could this be? Countless people were shocked. The gray mist was too terrifying. Even a middle-grade spiritual rank artifact could not withstand it. At this moment, no one dared to think about escaping in the sky. Roar! The few people in the sky ran away, but the 8-armed demon ape on the mountain road roared angrily. It waved its 8 arms and roared towards the sky. Roar! In the sky, the demonic beast in the shape of a black cloud roared as well. It let out a low roar, and its aura was boiling. The confrontation between the two powerful demonic beasts made the atmosphere tense to the extreme. Many of the freshmen's hearts were in their mouths as they watched nervously. It was not impossible to let the two demonic beasts fight. This way, they would have a chance to escape. Lin Xian thought in his heart. In the next moment he had an idea. After reminding Morong Qingqing in a low voice, Lin Xian activated the Great Dragon Sword Soul. He controlled the spiritual qi between heaven and earth, and condensed an arm near the 8-armed demon ape. Its appearance was almost the same as the 8-armed demon ape's arm. At the same time, he used the concept of wind, causing a violent wind to blow in the sky, and the vision became dark. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Lin Xian used the arm condensed from spiritual qi to grab a small mountain and threw it into the sky. Boom! Like a meteorite, it flew up into the sky. Roar! In the sky, the demonic beast in the shape of a black cloud was enraged. It spat out even more gray mist, which enveloped the 8-armed demon ape below. When the 8-armed demon ape saw the other party attack, it roared as well. It waved its 8 arms and threw the nearby boulders and trees into the sky. At the same time, it opened its mouth wide, revealing its blood-red fangs. Countless amounts of spiritual qi condensed in front of it. Accompanied by a powerful demonic power, it formed a yellow energy ball. The energy overflowing from the ball was enough to kill any martial artist below the 3rd heaven venerable realm. Let's go! Lin Xian roared and left with Morong Qingqing. The two of them were very fast. They turned into rays of light and rushed towards the top of the mountain. The others also reacted and escaped. The battle between the two demonic beasts was definitely not something they could contend against. They might as well take the opportunity to leave. Lin Xian took the lead and quickly ran forward. Fortunately, the two demonic beasts appeared at the same time and started fighting. Otherwise, it would be difficult to deal with them. If that was the case, with Lin Xian's means, he would have to put in some effort. The higher they went, the stronger the demonic beasts. Moreover, they appeared more frequently. Many people complained in their hearts. They originally thought that the competition would be easy, but they did not expect it to be so dangerous. It's not even as good as the arena competition. Damn, it's another demonic beast from the Earth ranking. Many people screamed and already had thoughts of retreating. This time, the demonic beast from the Earth ranking was equally terrifying. It was a demonic wolf that controlled a pack of wolves. 10,000 wolves galloped with a terrifying momentum and chased after the crowd. Run for your life! Everyone screamed and used all their strength to escape with all their might. Lin Xian also quickly dodged. At this time, the advantage of an Earth-rank martial art was displayed. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.